you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk. Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the MBK family. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen. And as always, we got a lot to talk about on the Just Knickin' It weekly show. The Knicks have lost 4 straight, 5 out of the last 6 prior to the All-Star break. Is that something we should be concerned about? The Knicks are dropping left and right. A lot of fans think that's Tibbs' fault. We'll talk about that, whether that's fact or fiction. We'll talk about what else. We'll do a first half recap, just if the Knicks as a team and individual players have met, not met, or exceeded your expectations. And then if we have time, and we usually do, what do the Knicks need to do to go all the way this season? Let me bring in Jerrell, Ajay, Geoff, J Boogie. And shout out to the chat, by the way. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Salute to the chat.
Salute.
Great queen. What's happening, Rel? What's happening, Captain Ag? Shout out to the chat. What's happening Friday?
Word.
Friday night lights. Friday
All-Star
night.
weekend. Yeah,
All-Star weekend. That's true. I forgot what they do. The celebrity game today.
Yeah, I watched that. It just ended like a few minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Greg, Dirty Dancer, JJ, Ondios, NYK, Dwayne Dennis, Kerry Cox, Vaughn Allen, everyone coming in the building. Appreciate you. And let's just talk about this past week. The Knicks lost 4 straight, 5 out of their last 6. Are you concerned?
Okay, I guess I'll start. I thought it was a added to that question, but am I concerned? Only thing I'm really concerned with is health. Really. Other than that, I think we actually been playing pretty well, considering you got to think about how many rotation pieces that we're missing. When you actually think about all the players that we're missing, the way we're actually playing isn't that bad. It's just that teams are, overpowering us, especially in the second half, especially that last game. It's just we don't have the bodies right now. So the only thing I'm concerned with really is health and how stubborn they are in getting an extra 5-man in here. Because it seemed like they're really, struggling to get the player that they want in here, or they're not going to get a player at all because they think Isaiah Hartenstein will come back as soon as the All-Star break is over. But for now, it seemed like they really, really need a center. And health is really the main concern for me.
Jerrell, are they struggling, or they keep going to the same?
But struggling.
They was talking about Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel. Part of the struggles, though, Steph, is try to dip into the same well you always dip into. That's struggling too. Like the front office is struggling with. I don't know. I guess they know the direction the team is going. That we just flipped the team, like half the team this season. So it seemed like they know the direction they're going in, but I don't know. It seemed like that Isaiah Hartenstein injury really caused a real problem in the front office. They don't seem like they know who to get, because Taj and Nerlens Noel, they're obviously not the answers, man. It's other bodies out there that we can get to, to hold the fort down until at least Isaiah Hartenstein or Mitch is back.
I mean, I could see if, say, we had 2 centers and you want to bring one as the backup to the backup. But right now, this is critical. We don't have anybody hardly.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't get it. Every time Taj Gibson comes in the game, my eyes roll like to the back of my head. You know?
Hey man, sometimes I be praying for Taj, man. It's time to old yeller Taj. It's over. Like you had a good run, good for the organization. Maybe be an assistant coach in the future, but it's over. Like they need to hang it up and get somebody else in. At least that's
contract time.
Yes, exactly. It's over.
Yeah, no doubt. Ajay, are you concerned?
It's it's funny we talking about how old is Taj? 36?
48.
87.
But he's it's that's funny that we're talking about him like he is 87, but in NBA years, I guess that is 87. Like Jerrell, I'm not concerned about the team. It's all about health, because right now, the front office, they don't really tell you anything, so you don't know to what extent these guys are hurt or when to expect. I mean, they might say nothing, and then first day after the All-Star game, everybody's back in full effect, like in full form. Or but they might not come back until April. You know what I'm saying? So they're not really telling you anything. So that's really my only concern. No, I'm not worried that we lost 4 games. Well, I mean, one game it was Queen. I'm gonna say it. We were playing 5 against 8 the entire night. I mean, that goes as an L in the in the L column, in the loss column, but we really didn't lose that game. We don't know the outcome of that game. So it's gonna be whatever the record is. There's gonna be one game missing because there's one game we don't know.
I knew you was gonna break that up.
Oh, you could.
I would be shocked if they play that game over, though.
No, they're not gonna play that game over. We're gonna have a record.
Over, but
it's gonna count as a loss.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have a record of 50-31, and then the star next one we don't know. That's what.
They put an asterisk like that.
So that's what it's gonna be. But right now we on par to finish. I mean, if we go the same way, we're gonna win about 49, 50, 51 games. The exact thing is 49 games we're gonna win, and I think most people felt we were gonna be a 50-win game. So it probably, we're right on par to where we were, where most people expect us to be. Not the people jumping out and say, "Oh, we're gonna win 60 games." Shout out to Uncle Freezy. Did he say 65?
Oh, I know he said 60 before the season
60?
started.
But yeah, I mean, we're right there where we thought we were gonna be, at least where I thought we were gonna be. So yeah.
But so with the 4-game losing streak, but you're just chalking it up to injuries.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But I mean, there are a couple of good things that come out of that, right? And one of the good things is Queen. We always make reference to the little text. I'm watching the game. I'm texting Queen. I said, Queen, the way Precious is playing, how do you sit that guy when everybody's healthy?
Right.
How do you, I mean, he is playing. He's showing us that he's a real Tom Thibodeau guy. And he's playing, he's producing, he's giving you everything you need. I mean, including like a little 3-pointer every now and then. Yeah, his hands are like a little Nerlens Noel-ish sometimes, but otherwise he's giving you everything. That Houston game, most people don't realize that he blocked that shot. It wasn't a pass. He blocked it and swatted away towards the middle of the court. That's how Holiday got the ball. But he's given us everything, man. He's given us everything you need. Again, I'm gonna remind you guys, he's not a center. He's a power forward.
Right. But
Precious
if you can roll Taj out there at center, then you can roll
well, I know, but his sweet spot is at the 4. Precious Achua.
I'm ready to put Steph at the 5.
Sign her up. Let's go.
Yeah. Precious is, let's give Tom Thibodeau some credit too. Like there's some players who are having career years under Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein. Even though when you look at his per 36, this was always possible. right? So now he's getting the time and you're actually seeing it. DiVincenzo is having a career year. I called that, by the way, when we were talking about breakout candidates. Achua, who's fallen into line and he's playing well. I think part of it, and I'm not, obviously I'm not, I'm not at practice. I think Thibodeau is very clear about what he wants from each player. Don't do nothing more. And I think that really helps to focus plays. Could be limiting for some, but I think it may have focused Precious, because who would have thought he would be this offensive rebounding hound that he is? And that's making me think maybe it's more than, all right, well, Mitch is an offensive rebounder, so let's just make that part of how we score, to this is just a part of our offense. So whoever comes in here, if they're able to, we really need them to hit the offensive boards, and that really needs to be a focus of theirs.
Yeah, like you said, you got to be able to, because you have guys that are 7-footers that can't rebound. So you got to be able to, and he's able to. And shout out to Queen, man. She had to sneak a little Tom Thibodeau praise in there. Let's give Tom Thibodeau a shout out for Precious Achua playing well.
I was talking to Stafford today. Thibodeau and Randall are the two players that will never get enough respect from the Knicks fans. Either we complain, and I say we as collectively, either we complaining about them, or we just not going to say anything. But they're not going to get a lot of praise. Right now, the best Tom Thibodeau is going to get is that people aren't calling for his job. That's the best they're going to get. The best Randall is going to get is that fans aren't calling for him to be traded. But let them slip up anywhere along the line. Like, their rope is this short. Thibodeau need to be fired. Randall needs to be, traded. It's just what it is. So, yeah, ever so often, I got to throw Tibbs some love. Yeah.
Well, and before we go to Geoff, guys, if you can believe it, I was defending Tom Thibodeau the other day I was talking to Queen Steph, with that Houston game. I was like, wait a minute, let me stop. I was texting. I said, man, forget. Am I sitting here defending Tibbs? And Steph is saying that was his fault with the fact that he called that challenge on the Taj Gibson play in the first quarter.
Now, I fell asleep on the game. So when somebody said that they reviewed it, I said, all right, well, they reviewed it. I said, wow, they reviewed it and still made that call? No, they reviewed it for something else.
Yeah.
They reviewed it for something. So Tom Thibodeau is in the first quarter. Taj Gibson. You're going to challenge a charge. Like, come on.
Oh, he's part of the team. He's on the team. You challenge for anybody, Queen. Let's go to
first quarter.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it. And Taj didn't get there. He barely making it to the gym on time.
Without even seeing the play, Taj.
Jumping out there.
Making it to the gym on time.
Jumping out that Uber.
He can't make it to the scorer's table on time when Tom Family get in the game.
You got to stay into the next whistle. The next dead ball. Come on.
He ain't parking nothing in the parking lot. He's just hopping out front of the building, jumping out the Uber.
Shout out to Taj Gibson, man. He watching the show, by the way.
Salute to Taj, man. It's over, though. Salute to you, though.
Brooklyn. Fort Greene.
Oh, yeah.
Geoff, concerns?
Well, I hear what Jerrell is saying about needing somebody at the 5, and I agree with him, but I also think it's not as easy to find someone as you might think.
Yeah.
Because does somebody want to come here to play that role potentially for 2 or 3 weeks and then get relegated to 0 playing time, whereas they can go to another situation? In other words, I'm just saying, if I'm a center on the open market and I see the Knicks and I see Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be back after the All-Star break, potentially Mitchell Robinson comes back healthy. If I'm going somewhere, I want it to be where I can finish the year, get a contract, and have a contract for next year. Well, if I get 2 weeks worth of time and then I'm riding the pine, I'm situational. Why am I going to do that when I can go somewhere where I can get legitimate backup 5 minutes for the rest of the season? So I think it's easy for us to say, just go out there and get a 5, but I'm not sure that I know the need is there immediately, but I'm not sure that we're the premier spot to go if you're a backup 5, just because we potentially have a lot of depth coming back. And so, and especially with Precious Achiuwa playing the way that he is. And I love Achiuwa, but the rim protection is not there when he's at the 5.
No,
you can
it's
see
not.
that. It's not. I mean, to his credit, he's been a beast on the offensive glass, especially. But he's like Lycos. You just go get it. He just out there getting every rebound. But yeah, he's much better as the backup 4. When he slides over to that 5, the rim protection kind of pulls the Houdini act. But so from that perspective, yes. Do I want a decent 5? Absolutely, but I think you may have to settle for a Nerlens Noel type, because he's a guy who, if he's even willing, at least he has a relationship with the team, is what I'm saying. Sherwin, don't ask Jerrell what's wrong with Sims. He'll tell you.
I mean, but he's better than Taj in my Taj may be more fundamentally sound and what have you, but I mean, in terms of what Taj can give you at this point in his career.
Who's better than Taj? Nerlens Noel?
Sims.
Oh, because I was okay. Nerlens Noel, is he still in the league?
No.
Oh.
Neither was Taj. Taj was running over the Brooklyn Bridge. Who knows Noel what he's doing to keep in shape? Yeah. I mean, right now it's. Listen, after the All-Star break, from what I understand, DiVincenzo, Bojan, and Hartenstein should be back ready to play. And Sims would be insurance. Yeah.
Any word on Randall?
Randall's going to take a little longer, for what I understand, but I think I read he would be back before OG. Did I read that? Or was that Stafford saying he read it?
That's what they said. Begley had a spot on SNY, and he said to expect Randall back possibly before OG. But I think we're at what Begley said was we were at week 2 with Randall, and they were going to reevaluate him in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I think they're encouraged by some things, but they're really going to take a look at it and after the All-Star break, and then he'll be reevaluated, and then we'll kind of know from there whether, how's it looking? Is he going to have surgery? Is he going to have to, is it progressing where they think he's going to be able to play? All of those kinds of decisions will have to be made. I think it's much more up to, with OG, that was his shooting elbow. So it's kind of like, it's got to be 100% before he can, you know what I mean? And I know, I don't think it's, getting rid of that bone spur shouldn't be, I mean, it should just be like it's 2 or 3 week, recovery time from what I understand, but, it may take a little bit longer to where he feels ready to get back on the court and participate basketball wise.
Yeah, for sure. Boogie, any concerns about the 4-game losing streak, 5 out of our last 6?
No, I don't have no concerns about it. More than anything, I'll be watching the other teams, seeing how they maneuvering. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's putting us in danger, that's where I'm looking at and paying attention to more than anything. I don't have no concerns about the team, because right now we don't have a team. Everything that they plan and put together right now for us to be right now is not in place. So until that becomes in place and then we're not rocking, then I have concerns. But right now, I'm one of the ones that's like, I'm really like trying to space myself from being over anxious and not being anxious enough just to see everybody together, knowing what this team could be and knowing how we've been playing and knowing the pieces that we added and everything to this team right now. I'm really, really, hoping that I get a chance to see all that come together. More than anything, when y'all spoke of Tom, Tom deserves that. Tom is the one that's going through everything right now. In front of doors, behind closed doors, because this is his shot, his opportunity with a full completed team. And the only thing that's hindering it is the injuries, being not healthy. That's it. Besides that, if we're not injured and we're healthy and we don't have that trade deadline come through and everybody's still rocking, right now we be 2C. Right now. That's how I feel we would be. If we came aboard and everybody came aboard and we rocking, doing exactly what we doing and we building and getting more and more chemistry, we at that 2C. Waiting to see if Boston would slip up. So I'm good right now with where the team is at, because right now, like I think Captain, he spoke upon it. We got a blessings out of Pac-Man. Yeah, I call him Pac-Man. We got a blessing with him. Because I remember one time on this show, I was saying, let Tom get him and try to figure out what he need to do with him, and then let him learn from Tom and then find out his role. And them two have gotten together since then, and they understand. He understands what Tom wants him to do, and he understands his role, and he's playing it to a fact. I call him a young Taj Gibson without a jump shot. You know what I'm saying? All he has to do is develop his little shot. You know what I'm saying? No, he's not a center, but the guy can play power forward. He can check anybody at the 3, and his defensive perimeter skills. And it showed that we have gotten a steal when people was unsure what you know what I'm saying, Precious could become during that trade, when people was unsure what he could bring to the table. So he's brought a lot of things to the table that can make us be like, whoa, if we put OG and him out there on the perimeter, I could put one of them on Jaylen Brown and the other one on Tatum now. If I decide to go that way and just let Julius duke it out with Porzingis. It's so many things that we can do, but the health is the issue. The health is more important, and I'm praying for everybody to get healthy. I want us to be right with like 12 games left in the season. That's what I'm not looking for the month. Like 12 games left. Well, we got like 26 games somewhere like around there like that. About 12 games left in the season is where I want to see everybody. And then we can start working and building our chemistry and, and knowing what's what, and let Tom start figuring out this playoff run. Because he's not going to limit nothing to no 9 players and all that there. Tom only did that because he didn't have people that he trusted, before. So he got them off the stage and just went only with a few people. But now he got a length of guys. He got a length of guys that he can play. And you're starting to see that right now. They're developing. And so our bench guys, they're getting a lot of skill time playing against a lot of starters. So with them playing against the starters, I'm just imagine when they go back to the bench and the other guys just come back and they're starting, they sub it in for them guys and playing against the other team's bench role guys. Then we crushing them because we used to playing against starters. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at far as with our team and everything right now. But I'm not worried at all, about anything. I just want every move that they made paid off this season. That's the thing, and that's the only thing that's holding us back. We can't be mad about anything else.
Why did it have to pay off this season?
Huh? Because they made the trades. They decided, to go veterans. We got rid of all our youths. You know what I'm saying? If they went on it, okay, we're going to go get veterans and we're going to feel like we're going to swing for right now. Everybody feel like, maybe 26, we'll be ready. No, in their mind frame, they thinking about right now. That's why them young guys is up out of here. And right now in the league, we're the second coming of the LA Clippers. I used to say, nobody wants to see the LA Clippers healthy. Nobody. Everybody don't want to see them healthy at the end of the season. Now, this is what I feel about us. People do not want to see this team right here, knowing how they was playing before, become healthy. With the additional pieces that we have that can gel. People are scared for us. And the same way we used to jockey for a position to play to make sure we don't play against other teams, it's going to be teams that's going to be jockeying and make sure they don't play against us because they don't know what we're going to have, what we're going to be doing in that player. We're a dangerous team. Dangerous. Real dangerous.
I agree with you, but I agree with you, and I think the Knicks have a really good shot this year. But what I'm saying is I'm not just limiting it to this year. Sometimes you can have the roster and you just need to grow as a team. You know what I mean? So you think about Boston has had the roster for I don't know how many years. They haven't won a championship. Milwaukee has had a roster with contenders for I don't know how many years before they finally won a chip. Same thing with Denver. So if the Knicks go out and win it this year, that's great. But what I'm saying is our window is larger than 1 year. So if we don't get it this year, we can still come back, running back, make some tweaks if we need to, and go after it again. Like our window is not. It's not like we got old players and our window is short. Like this is just the beginning of it. Go out and get it if you can get it. But if not, we gotta. I think we got at least a 4-year window.
Oh, we do have that. What you say? I'm just saying, in their mind frame, they figure like, yo, we can go for it. Let's go for it this year. And the great thing about, like you said, we do have the window. Yeah, Leon has done great. He has touched none of them. You know what I'm saying? The first rounders, he's done. We got a lot of backup to go along with this right here. But just saying right here, right now, because you decided to get rid of your youth, and other teams didn't get that much further away from us, and we don't shrunk, far as catching these, and things ain't looking too good in Philly and Milwaukee, they bugging at it. And I still don't understand why Glenn is coaching this daggone All-Star game, but that's another topic. But Milwaukee is not doing too good. Cleveland, they looking good right now. To me, they've had a weak schedule. They ain't playing no hard schedule. But, that's a different story when we play one, and it's Boston. So I just like our chances right now with what we got going on.
Yeah, no doubt. Anybody else want to say anything else before we move on to Thibodeau and whether or not he killing the team? And the cause of, the cause of the injuries because he going too hard trying to win and don't give a damn about the players' health. I mean, this is just all I'm reading on social media. Just putting it out there.
And there's one post out there that he shared with you guys. A segue into that.
Yeah. Well, Greg don't got no love lost for Tom Thibodeau. So
I mean, are we really gonna sit here and say this is Tom Thibodeau's fault? I mean, that's it. Like, are we seriously doing that?
Well, let me ask the question: is Tibbs to blame for the Knicks' injuries? Fact or fiction? Why or why not? So you're saying fiction?
Or my answer is neither fact or fiction. My answer is BS. That's my answer. That's nonsense. Listen, these guys are NBA players. All right, they should be able to play. Tibbs, he doesn't play his players 48 minutes. Granted, they should be able to play 48 minutes if you ask them to. That's why they get paid $30 million a year. Okay, they don't get hurt because they play too much. Because the little part that we see them play, the 48 minutes that we see them play, that's probably only 10% of what they actually do. Because when the lights go out, those guys continue play. They practice, they run, they do the same. They could get hurt practicing. That has nothing to do with Tom Thibodeau. I mean, this is their job. This is what they do. When they're not playing, they're actually practicing and try to make themselves better. That's what they do all day, all night. Whenever they're up and they're not spending time with their families, they're not doing all this social stuff, they're playing. That's part of their work. So, yeah, they can get injured at work. They could get injured, try to get ready for the game. They can get injured coming off the bus. I mean, you can't blame Tom Thibodeau for that. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, I will say that at this point in the season, they're just playing in the games. They're not even practicing. They're just doing, shoot-arounds. So that might be the only run they're getting. If they got 3 games, that might be the only run they're getting. And I guess whatever cardio they're doing to to keep their conditioning up, because there's not a lot of practicing, if any practicing, going on at this time of the year.
Didn't get hurt and shoot around. Didn't KD got hurt? He tripped over the line of the market on the floor. On the hardwood. He tripped over it and fell and twisted his ankle. He was out a few games last season. Remember that? Like, they could get hurt, at warming up for the game. I mean, that's just random, and you can't, you can't blame the coach for that. He's got to play his players.
You can blame Bam Adebayo though.
Well, yeah, because he goes out and hurt people. That's what he does. He plays stupid. Like, he don't know what I do. He knows what he's doing.
Anybody else want to comment on that? If they feel that the rash of injuries this season is due to Tom Thibodeau either playing them excessive minutes in a game, I guess that's the only thing it could be, playing them excessive minutes, maybe not limiting minutes when guys are coming back from injury.
The only one the two that I can kind of see a case was in the Houston game when Dante kind of pulled up lame with his hamstring and then coach put him back in. Like, to me, that was a little bit much. I know he wanted to win the game and everything like that, but to me, that's something. If he pulls up hobbling like that, then you need to just say, okay, that would have been the time for me to say, okay, I'm going to sit you right now just to make sure. And I think he had played some ridiculous, I think he hadn't sat the whole second half to that point. So, so that one, and then just because of the nature of the injury, I think Isaiah Hartenstein with that tendinopathy or whatever it's called, it tends to be a fatigue injury. Like, if you look up, fatigue injuries, that's one of the first ones that comes up. And so, with the Mitchell Robinson injury, here's a player who's really taking on a role, an expanded role that to an extent that he's never really had before. And then Sims was out too, and it seemed like those consecutive 40-minute games really re-aggravated it, basically, because he had the injury the first time, and then it seemed like they cut back his minutes for like a week or two in there. So maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of remember a stretch where it almost felt like he was on a 20-25 minute pitch count, and then it just kind of ramped up again, and then when it ramped up again, then he re-injured it. Those are the only two that I really feel like you can make the fatigue case for. Other than that, I mean, sprained ankles are going to happen. Julius had the freak shoulder injury. That doesn't have anything to do with fatigue. Mitchell Robinson's injury, I don't think is fatigue or overuse related either. I think Boyan's injury was he hadn't played defense all year. And so, he had to play defense for once. So his calf was acting up a little bit. Plus he's 34. So, maybe that hasn't, but even that, he didn't, I don't think he played an excessive amount of minutes in any of the games for him either. So I'm not really going to get, so I don't know. I think it's overblown. If you are going to make a case for it, Dante would be the best case. And then Hartenstein, I'll listen to that argument. Other than that, I think I agree with that, Jay.
And where does the medical staff come in? Like, this is not like high school, where the coaches is making the decisions on their own. Like, where was the medical staff when it came to Devo? Like, if
he had that thing on the sideline during the timeout where he was what they had that gun. I don't know what it does, but you could see him working, like massaging it or whatever with that thing during the timeout. Like he when he went over there, he was kind of like to the medical staff, like, hey, I need that, stimulator thing, whatever it's called. I don't know. and he was working on that, and then coach was just like, yeah, get back out there, bro. And so, and again, where is the medical staff to say,
because I
hey,
would think if he
coach,
wasn't available to go, the medical staff would alerted Tibbs and say he's not able to go. Same thing with Hartenstein. He's not able to go.
Or Devo, he would have said it himself.
Well, the players, sometimes they'll go out there on one leg.
Yeah, true. Hamstring is tough though.
Here's another thing, right? We got to understand the when the Knicks play, when teams pay these guys $30 million, right? That's a huge investment in the guys. They will not, if there's one little doubt that those guys are going to get hurt by playing, they're not going to play them, because they're not going to want to waste 30, 20, $18 million because they want to play the guy another 2 minutes. So if they don't have 100% clearance that this guy can go, trust me, it's an investment. They're not going to let him go out there. All right. I mean, they're not going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times Hartenstein has gone in at halftime and he don't come back, and Tibbs, he's not available. So I don't know. I'm just saying, I just want to know. I think it's the medical staff that makes the decision who's ready to go, who's not ready to go. And if he's ready to go, Tibbs is going to play him. If he's not ready to go, he's not going to play him.
Queen and the player's got to let him know, listen, I can or I can't go. It's a combination. The medical staff and the players got to let him. Tibbs doesn't make those decisions. If iHeart says I can't go and the medical staff says you can, the end result is that he's not going to go. Or vice versa. If the medical staff, if he says he can go, the medical says no, you cannot, he's not going to go. Tibbs is like third or fourth option on that list. He doesn't call the shots when it comes to that.
Yeah, he's definitely he's the last one.
Yeah.
It's from the medical, and from the medical to the player, and then it's to Tom. He don't even know what's going on until he get all that information from them. And then if the player can go, he can go. If the player can't go, then he'll let him know he can't go. But once the medical feel like that he's cleared, far as your injury has healed or whatever, and you're okay to go out there, then it's up to the player to go out there to really, make sure that he can, he's testing and all that stuff. But Tom is last, man. But if he get his chance to put you out there, you know what he's going to do. You're going out there 40 minutes.
Right. And the thing about it is, and I think it was Hartenstein who said this. He says, not like we playing 40 minutes and then we coming back the next day and we going, and we're practicing. If we're playing 40 minutes the next day, we're not doing anything but a walk around. It's not like Pat Riley days. You playing 40 minutes in the game and you having a full 2 to 3 hour practice and we going back to the next game. It's not really like that. I think there's going to be times in the game when you're short, in a season when you're shorthanded, and guys are going to have to play more minutes during that time. Now, 40 minutes for an entire season, no. But yeah, there will come a period of time, 3-4 games in a row where you got to play 40 minutes. You're not practicing the next day. You have ample recovery time. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I'll phrase the question a different way. Who would have been happy if we had played Jacob Toppin and Charlie Brown Jr. 20 plus minutes in each of those games and we got run out of the building? How happy would they have been with Coach Thibodeau then?
Nah, he's supposed to win.
What's he doing playing these guys? Why doesn't he have his starters? So he's damned if he do, he's damned if he don't, So to me, I don't think it's a Thibodeau issue. I mean, if the medical staff says they're healthy and they can play, they can play. And look, I'm sure Thibodeau would rather have real live NBA bodies to put out on the floor. You think he wants 4 of his, best front court players on the sideline? Of course he doesn't. He only has, he's played the last week with 5.5 guys. I mean, nobody thinks that Brown Jr. and Toppin are NBA rotation players if you're not in emergency mode. I mean, Deuce McBride and Jericho Sims are not necessarily proven rotation players at this point. Although I will say Deuce more so than Sims, but they're situational for a reason. When we're healthy, I don't know that either of those guys is getting off the bench in our rotation. So, you're gonna rely heavily on the guys that you trust the most. And really, we don't really want Josh Hart playing 35 minutes a game either. His role, he's not most effective when he's doing that. He's much better as a 25-minute a game off the bench guy, spark your, energy and all that fun stuff. But, we're shorthanded. He's a great rebounder, and Thibodeau trusts him. So, so I don't know.
Listen. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, what are the games we're gonna lose anyway?
No coach goes into the game saying we shorthanded. Chances are we're not going to win the pick against the Pacers anyway. Let's roll out the GT. No coach is doing that. No coach is. If you're a competitor and anybody who's played competitive sports, even if you coach G, listen, we got who we got. I believe in everybody on this team. Neck man up. Let's go. But you're not saying we're going to lose anyway. So you know what? Yeah, come. What's your name? Yeah, you got your uniform? All right, come on. No coach is doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You thinking you're going to win every game, even if you're shorthanded. And a lot of what the Knicks are doing, every other team is doing it too. Every other team, if they're shorthanded, guys' minutes get bumped up a little bit. Boston might be playing. I don't know what the numbers are on the season, but they have a really short bench. I wouldn't be surprised if their numbers are at an all-time high. Players do, coaches are doing what they need to do to win, but at the same time, I don't believe a coach is intentionally putting their players in harm's way. That's just really hard for me to believe.
At this point, I actually think most fans, or a lot of the fans that are complaining about this, would rather us lose. Because the arguments about minutes really don't make any sense. Now, especially when it comes to total minutes. Now, if Tibbs is playing, players at long stretches, that's what I don't like the most. It's not the total minutes of the game. That doesn't make any sense. The only player that's in the top 10 in the NBA in minutes on our team is Brunson. I think the next person after that is like Julius, who hasn't played in 2 weeks. And I think he was like top 15, top 20, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is about average.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why sometimes when it comes to these arguments, man, I don't know who creates them, but when it comes to Tom Thibodeau, he will always have that narrative, regardless if he's playing, players excessive minutes or not.
Shout out to Knicks Nice, who says there are 20 guys on the teams. Give them burn. Who are those 20 guys?
It's not 20 guys.
We don't have 20 guys. There are 16 guys on the roster, and I think like 7 of them are hurt. And one that's not hurt include Taj Gibson and Dwayne Washington Jr., which we don't even see on the bench.
Right.
So that leaves you with
he's hurt actually, AJ.
Huh?
I think he's actually hurt.
He's hurt too. Okay, there you go.
Not because of minutes.
He probably got hurt in practice. Like I was saying, they get hurt in practice sometimes.
For me, it's really the long stretches. Like sometimes, like the other night, he played like 5 players all in the third quarter.
Yeah, IKB
stuff like that. Stuff like that pisses me off. Not the total.
Give him a blow. Yeah,
right. But that's not what a lot of people are arguing. They're arguing total minutes, which makes no sense to me.
Right. Right. What's up, Staffer?
What's good, family?
What up, bro?
Hey, yo, rude boy, one deal, boy.
You see his energy already. You see the little header he got. Talk about some relax.
There are no games this week, so he's just chilling.
Boy, Jerrell, nothing can pass you, boy.
I see. As soon as you went up there, okay. I see what staff on tonight. That's what's up.
Hey, yo, but salute to the whole panel, J Boog, Geoff, AJ, Jerrell, and you already know Queen, man. And shout out to the most best chat in the whole Knicks verse. Yeah, shout out to the chat, man. Peace and love, man. And shout out to my boy Trav B in the chat right now.
Salute.
Yeah,
shout
man.
out to Trappy. I heard a piece of your joint today. I don't think that was the whole thing. I liked it though.
It's fire. Fire.
Trav got a new joint. I ain't hear it yet.
Yeah.
Fire. Fire.
That's great. We need it out there. We need it out there. Trav B is one of the dudes that need to have he need to be signed to a label. He needs to have a deal. You know what I'm saying? He's blessed and gifted with a lot of talents. You know what I'm saying? And I love everything he do. I'll be following what he be doing and what he be saying. And I'm paused to hear what he dropped. You know what I'm saying? I know it's something ridiculous. I know it is.
It's coming soon. It's gonna be a world premiere on Stafford Dan show. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I like that.
That's breaking news right there. You got a show coming.
It's coming. Just a little something out the box. You know what I mean? So, but you know, we working in the background. You know what I mean? We working. You know.
That's what's up, man. Shut down the wave. If you ain't a part of the New York Knick organization podcast or something, you need to get out of the way.
Facts. So I hear a lot of the conversation, the Thibodeau conversation with the whole injuries thing. Let me just put my 2 cents in that. I don't feel I have to agree with most of the panel. I have to feel like Tom Thibodeau is not responsible, for those injuries. But what I was talking to Queen earlier is that if you see that we have players that we are going down, and I think sometimes you need to hold back the player from themselves, even though they want to play. Sometimes we got 2 more games going into the All-Star game, and we got a couple players is down. JB, take the night off. Devo, take the night off. Sometimes, you don't have to win every game at what Queen was playing. Sometimes it's good to prioritize winning during the season, but the big picture is winning in the playoffs, right? So, it could go both ways, so even if I was to put a little blame, Queen and the panel, it would have to be to the front office and the whole athletic staff, because they should know when to hold back these players from themselves. Even though a guy like JB, he wants to play, but sometimes you're injured, bro. You know what I mean? It could be 80%, but we need you 100%. So that's my only thing. But otherwise, I don't think Tom Thibodeau is not responsible for any type of those injuries at all.
Listen, at 80% at this point in the season, you 100%. Because you're gonna wear down over the course of a season. Anyway, you 80-85%. You good to go.
Yeah, but but we're talking about 2 more games until the All-Star break, and you don't want to tweak nothing, and sometimes freak accidents do happen. Not saying it can't happen, Queen. Don't get me wrong. You understand what I'm saying? If you 80, you 100, you going fine. You have to prioritize winning. I was saying, but sometimes you got to hold back these players from themselves from even getting injured.
I think coaching should be separate from medical.
Definitely.
I think coaching should be separate from medical.
Definitely.
If you say the player can't play, they can't play, and I'm not going to play him. If you say they ready to go, then they ready to go. I got a lot of things I need to think about in my head I can't be thinking about whether or not a player is ready or not ready. Let the medical staff make that determination. Even if you feel like a guy needs a rest, medical staff make that decision all the time. If you think this guy needs to rest, let the coach know this guy is out tonight.
Don't y'all think though that the Knick culture, the kind of players that we bring in,
They're not going to want to
aren't the load management types?
No.
Like
They're
they're
not.
all dogs. They all want to. They're all workhorses. They all want to be like. They don't want a night off. Like you, like I know his shoulder is hurt right now, but if you try to tell Julius Randle he needs a rest day, he might punch you in the face. He like, I ain't resting. I'm ready to go. He wants to go right now. I guarantee you, he was probably like, they probably had to hold him. That no, Julius, it's not time yet. You know, he is a freak about wanting to get back in that game. He wants to be on that floor. He wants to be on that court. You know, and I think that's not just Julius. I think that's pretty much the mentality of the players that we have, not just the coach that we have. You know, and I love that, by the way. I think that's amazing. I think, you know, that's my one criticism of Kawhi Leonard. You know, I think he's one of the biggest ones who kind of ushered in this load management wave that we have. Oh, I don't feel like playing tonight or like the next 4 games, so I got to keep myself fresh for the playoffs. But the other thing that I'll say too is that the Eastern Conference is so tight and so tough. Can you really be afford to be just, you know, falling off the dogs for 3 or 4 games? That could be the difference between being the 6th seed and being in the play-in.
And the Knicks are, JJ pointed that out. Shout out to JJ, always rocking with us, that the Knicks are just a few games out of the play-in. And I think, and that's another concern with the injuries. Not that we don't have the talent on this team, but with the injuries, we can if things don't play out right, if guys don't come back, 100% healthy or come back at all, we could find ourselves in the play-in.
I mean, it's not a possibility, but I'm not trying to carry that mentality.
It's not about a mentality.
You know, I'm trying to stay, and I know probably Thibodeau ain't gonna allow it too. We're gonna try at least be try and be in the top 6.
We of course,
and fight until tooth and nails. You know, so I don't think that's he's gonna let that happen. But I understand what you say. I clearly understand where you're coming from.
It's not up to Thibodeau. You think Thibodeau would have wanted a 4-game losing streak to happen?
No,
it's not up to him. That's what I'm trying to say. If we don't get healthy, we can find ourselves we only 3 games out of the play-in. So that's my concern with the health. That if we don't get healthy, we can find ourselves in the play-in. Now, if we healthy, then that's a whole other story.
Right.
I mean, the optimistic person in me will tell you we only 3 games. We only 4 games out of second spot too. We're not far from the 2nd seed. We're not from the play-in, but we're not far from being number 2.
You're absolutely right.
Along with a play-in, along with a playoff trade deadline. That's what I'm gonna call it. When everybody can't make no more moves and everybody can't do nothing else, make no more trades. When our guys come back, it's almost gonna be like a playoff trade deadline for us. We're gonna have a whole nother roster that's gonna be stronger. And so just maintaining your position much as you can. Just maintain it. If some games we're gonna lose, some games we're gonna look like we don't belong on the court, and then we're gonna win some games. But just know every game that goes by, guys is getting more healthy and coming more closer towards returning. You know what I mean? That's just the focus. And I know everybody just praying up right now. Just get health, man. That's all we need is health. Health is the only thing that's holding us back to really, really feeling great about our opportunities. And as the games are going out, some of the guys that's playing and getting overplayed right now, they wearing down a little bit and they getting little knickknacks and everything. But if to my understanding, I didn't hear it, but I'm just listening to the say so that Brunson is also telling him, I want to play. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how true that is because I didn't hear it, but I'm just going through the podcast. Nick World say so. But Russell is saying that, yo, I want to be out there on that court. You know what I mean? Because ball players don't want to sit on that bench. I played ball, Queen played ball. I'm quite sure some of y'all played ball. You know what I'm saying? In our time, we didn't like sitting on that bench. And when you come out the game, yo, coach, I'm ready to go in. Sit there, Chavi. Come on, coach, I'm ready to get. But them guys don't do that. But them guys don't want to sit on that bench. And them guys got things in their contracts and everything that say how many games they need to play or how many minutes, how many quarters, all that plays an effect. Them guys want to be out there, you know what I'm saying, for money reasons, all types of reasons. But, you know, just we got to get a team of grateful what we have right here, right now. I know it's not our strong side of the team. Then, you know, we still got guys that's not there. But Lord knows if everybody comes back to this team at least a week or 2 weeks after this break, it's a problem. You got to feel like it's a problem. And until then, you know, we just going to have to deal with what's going on now. We don't have to deal with it.
I'm not ready to pull the panic back. No,
right?
But like,
No.
you know, like, no, because Queen, you got to remember when we was talking earlier in January, we was flying high, 14-2. Nobody couldn't talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
Now we lose 4 games and the whole sky is falling. You know what I mean? You know, you got guys in the chat talking about Thibodeau, you know, running down all the players and he naming out all the players that Thibodeau injured and, just fire Tibbs and, and the trade is a bunch of a whack because we got scrub players and, the chemistry is not going to be right. As Jay Boogie just said, health. You see, once we get health, we gonna be okay. You understand what I'm saying? You see what my word said? Relax. And I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking. Relax.
Let me read Super Chat before we
come in.
Nav the Disruptor, appreciate you for rocking with us. He's probably the only coach in the league who plays his players for 24 minutes straight. And Nev the Destroyer again. The best thing that happened to the Knicks in the Orlando game was it turned out to be a blowout. This coach was going to play Brunson for 24 straight minutes if the game remained close. Yeah, I hear you. And I also know Nev is not a Tibbs supporter. But I think it's fair. I think it's fair in terms of guys playing not necessarily the total minutes, as Jerrell said, and some in the chat have talked about. It's just playing the minutes straight. But if things were to change, I just wonder, like Geoff said earlier, how many of us would be okay losing? Because you got to think about, you break it up Brunson in the non-Brunson minutes, the Knicks are not good.
Nope.
So we don't want to play Brunson 24 minutes straight, and I'm cool with that. We're going to take Brunson out. We're going to put McBride in. We losing the league. That's it. Or you want, or chances are. Or you want to take this one out. You want to put in Jacob Toppin so so-and-so don't have to play this many minutes straight. Okay. Now when you come back in the game, you got to hustle up to try to make up for the loss of the lead or wherever you are to get the momentum back. So you energy either way. But I hear you. I do think that's a fair point about playing, players for long stretches. But when Brunson is not on the floor, the Knicks are not good. They're just not. You can look at the numbers, the on-off numbers with Brunson. That's that.
But Queen, and there's something to what Jay Boogie said, right? Like, do you really think Brunson wants to come out when he know the game is right there in the reach, or you understand, or he knows, like the other night in Orlando, like how Nev said, it was a blowout, and we finally seen that. Okay, throwing the white flag, he pulled out Brunson. But do you really think that Brunson really wanted to come out and not try to win that game?
Yeah. All right. Let's move on for that. Let's talk about the first half recap. I mean, we did a great show when we were about 41 games into the season. This is well past that. So up to this point in the season, who on the team has either met, not met, or exceeded your expectations? Just another way to do a recap of the season up to this point. To pick any player, coach, medical staff, who has met, not met, or exceeded your expectations up to this point.
I see what Queen did there. That was funny. That's funny.
I'm trying to
After
think.
we're gonna start with you.
It's a hard question, Steph.
Yeah. Who on the team has met, not met, or exceeded your expectations up to this point in the season?
We just. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mhm.
We just traded him, Quentin Grimes. I really thought that he was going to come into this season and solidify that number 2 spot. Don't get me wrong, he's still an elite 3-point shooter. I think it's 30, elite defender, all these things, but it just came a point where that the team has grown and we didn't have time to cuddle him anymore. Put it to, if you want me to say it, it's a better word, he didn't meet up to expectations. Devo came in, grabbed the spot because he was more consistent, just taking the demand of the ball, even though you have Randall and JB as 2 ball dominant players, he was still able to find his niche in the offense, and Grime didn't do that. He didn't show no type of aggression, so he was a player that I was expecting a lot out of, and by him losing his confidence, he lost his spot, and we had to move on from him and bring in some veteran players, who know how to put the ball in the hole, so that's probably it, and just the whole team as a whole, and where we at right now, the number 4 seed, that's real big right there, going into the All-Star break at the 4 seed. It's been a minute since we did that, you know what I mean? So
Given the injuries that we've had,
right, even
Yeah.
given the injuries also too. So you got to give the coaching staff their credit. You got to give the coaches credit. You got to give the front offices credit. The players that he brought in, the precious. The first 2 games wasn't looking right, homie. But you cemented your style, and the New York family is adapting to you. So let's go, man. I can't wait for the second half.
All right. We got one more super chat about the last segment. Nev the Disruptor, appreciate you. It's a coach responsibility. It is a coach's responsibility and duty to take care of his players. He is messing with their livelihood and their potential earnings. I hear you, Nev. Anybody else on the team who's anybody else on the team who has met,
He did cheat.
met,
I was going to point it out, Steph. Don't get it twisted. I was going to say something. He cheated.
not met, or exceeded your expectations? Boogie, we'll go around the other way. Geoff, Ajay, then Jerrell.
Well, Grimes has definitely been that guy. He did not meet
on the team, though.
He did not meet nowhere near the expectations what we talked about or spoke about, during the all season of the year, and knowing that you coming in off of pretty much having your first complete season, you coming off of almost pretty much going head to head with Jimmy Butler. You coming off of working out with JJ Redick. You coming off of being called to the FIBA team, Olympic team, to work out with them guys. So everything was open for you to walk up into this season and not ride that, you know what I'm saying, that wave. That was really a disappointing because I know me personally, I said, yo, we're going to be as far as Grimes is going to help go. We need that third wheel, that fourth wheel. You know, we needed him. And he brought so much to the table to where it's like, you know, he helped out in other areas and phases of the game with, you know, being his defense assignments, you know, that he was encountering. But it turned out that he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for it. He needed more time. And I think that, you know, where he's moved on to, he's going to have his opportunity. And then again, while I'm saying why he's moved on, you know, let me applaud to the office again, you know, with Leon Rose. Because can't nobody say he ain't done great by the guys that were here. He sent them all into places and put them all in the positions where they can go and refresh and start their NBA careers all over again. To me, only one so far has flunked. That's Obi. He's flunked because he lost that starting position. You know what I'm saying? When he was a starter. So, but I really wanted to go somewhere else, but I'm keeping it where the Queen said. She said on the team.
No, but Grimes ain't on the team anymore.
Nah, but you know, far as you talking about the players, basketball play.
Right. No, you could do coaches too, but you know,
I wanted to go to the office.
You can go to the office as well.
I
wanted to go office, but just somebody that's part of the team right now.
Okay.
IQ, these guys, they
okay. My bad. My thing is the office though. Shout out to Leon Rose.
Okay.
Big shout outs to him for making moves, big boss man moves when after the New York fan base is going to be like, what? And the other half was like, I don't know. He made his move anyway. He got rid of the young guys and said, I'm going with this right here, and this is what I'm going to do and the moves that I'm going to make. And he kept all our draft picks, them number ones, every one of them. You know, you think of it, you know, he brought in Josh, he brought in Dante, he brought in OG and Precious, and he just brought in Burks, and he just brought in, you know, Bogdanovich, a.k.a. Mr. Bobo. He brought them guys in. Those are the last two pieces because everybody went, well, you did, okay, we see the RJ thing. What are you going to do about the IQ? I would take Burks and Bobo over IQ. I would take that. Going in the playoffs, I would take that. Being in the playoffs, them two guys coming on, I would take that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have room to give them no $100 million. I don't have room for it. So I understand the situation, much as they hurt it, but I understand the situation. But I really appreciate what Leon has done for this team. And Leon has got the window for us wide open. And we are hoping to see a complete second half team. And that's going to solidify how great of the moves that Leon Rose has done. He should be up for Executive of the Year. I'm not going to leave that out. Leon should be up and be a part of his name should be mentioned as far as Executive of the Year, as far as the moves that he has made. Also, he made a move with Toronto. Everybody said we couldn't do that. You know, him and Paul Rich, they made amends. You know, he's doing things that's trying to really make this New York Knicks, you know what I'm saying, available to league, open league right now, whereas players are starting to say, okay, I might be cool going to New York. You know what I'm saying? But we know and understand certain things had to be taken care of first before, you know, before we start bringing guys in. We know we had some turmoil going on in our history. Well, Leon has cleaned all that up. You know what I'm saying? In 4 years. And I'm looking to wait to see what is his next deal going to be. He should be getting a deal real soon before the season starts, or definitely right before the next season starts. Leon deserves his money.
Yeah. Geoff, anybody on the team, including the coach and the front office, who's either met, not met, or exceeded your expectations?
I have two guys I want to bring up. The first one is Isaiah Hartenstein. I mean, you want to talk about a player that's blossomed this year. I mean, I honestly think before he got hurt, he was playing defensive player of the year caliber. And I didn't think he was a bad defender, but I didn't think he was this good. And just really the job that he did, taking on a minute's load the way that he did, and really taking on that responsibility and elevating his game, and the stocks were just awesome. I mean, he just really was an anchor in every sense of the word, and so I wanted to shout him out. And the other one is Jalen Brunson. I mean, here's a guy who always gets the goalposts moved on him, right? First, he's never going to live up to that contract, right? That's what he's not worth the contract we're going to pay him. They're paying the Knicks way overpaid to get him. And then what happens? Well, he lives up to, well, he'll never be an all-star. Okay, well, now he's an all-star. Well, he's not a top. They just keep moving the goalposts on him. And every time they move the goalposts, he says, okay, I'm there too. Like, what else do you want me to do? So keep moving those goalposts on him, guys, because he just keep proving you wrong. And I hope he does too, because every time he's too small, he's too this, he's too that. He's a superstar. Get used to it. He's amazing. You know, he is the very thing that Knick fans, you know, basketball is New York's game in so many ways. And no position epitomizes that like the point guard position. And we have been without a point guard for so long. And to have Jalen Brunson, son of Rick Brunson, who was a solid Knick when he was here, but come in and just smash every expectation. I mean, you're talking about the best contract in the league for a guy who's not on a rookie deal, right? You're talking about, you know, probably a top 8 player in the league right now, as far as what he's doing and MVP conversations and everything else. I mean, look, everything that we could have imagined and more. And I don't know if Leon Rose and them knew that that's what we were getting when we signed him, but what a revelation. The best point guard we've had since Clyde, with apologies to Stephon Marbury, with apologies to Michael Ray Richardson, apologies to whoever else you want to throw in that conversation. I apologize to you, but Jalen Brunson is better. And
yeah.
And before, the question was, who is this team going to build around? You know, because, you know, a year and a half ago, even at places like Knick Fan TV, you know, the complaint was, well, this team is mid and they have no direction and they have no plan. Well, now we have the centerpiece. Now we have the guy that we can build around. Now we have Jalen Brunson, and you can build a championship team, a championship core around him. And then what do? We go in and we get the perfect wing to slot in beside him, an OG. You bring in Dante DiVincenzo, who I didn't know about, but Queen called it 100%. Here's a guy who skyrocketed when he got here. You know, and look, now the defenses are keyed in on him. He's still raining down threes like it's nobody's business, you know?
And that's really surprising me, because that was one of the criticisms. I guess you could call it a criticism. Like, you know, can he get his own shot? I don't think so. I think he's somebody that could play off of Brunson, play off of Randall. But if they, you know, impact those guys in the playoffs and make it difficult for them to score, I don't know if Devo can get his own shot. And he's showing he can do that a little bit.
I can't think of the person name now. I don't mean to cut nobody, but I wish I could think of the person name. And the guy that said that, yo, he went to Golden State and jumped inside Klay Thompson's body and left Dante and Golden State, brought Klay over here.
That's funny.
Man, that's crazy, man.
But,
anybody to add to what Geoff is saying? Brunson and iHeart, did anybody have those two? or any one of those? No.
The only thing he left out was they were saying his dad was only here because he's here, or the only reason why his dad is here because he's here. All types of excuses, man. And that man don't answer all up, man. Great take, Captain. Great take, man. Speaking on that guy.
Yeah, I'm a piggyback off of him. I heart, you know. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna say exceeded. Yeah, I'm gonna say exceeded expectations. I always felt iHeart could be a really good player. You know, if given the opportunity, if given the minutes, whenever he, came in for Mitchell Robinson or Tibbs chose to play him more minutes than Mitchell Robinson for whatever reason, he always did well. But to be thrust into the position he was thrust into this year, and I gotta say, those first few games was a little shaky on the defensive end. I remember saying, "Wow, I don't, I don't know about this rim protection," but the more reps he got, the more he started, the more minutes he got, he became really, really good. We already knew he was a good rebounder, an adequate shot blocker, but his rim protection got much better. And then when OG came and in my opinion, decreased the number of players in the lane that he had to deal with, he was really able to shine. Isaiah Hartenstein, there's some fans who still think he's a backup center. Some fans who still think, he's just a glue guy, but he's proven that he's a starting center in the NBA. Now, whether that's going to be for the Knicks, that remains to be seen, but he's showing that he's a starting center in the NBA. And listen, when Mitchell Robinson went down, there was a little, pessimism about, how good can the Knicks be without, Mitchell Robinson? And he came and kind of put that to bed. Now, when Robinson comes back, we'll be even better. But I think he amply filled in for Robinson in his total game.
But I could tell you who I'm most disappointed on though is the guy they called Josh Hart.
We're gonna come back around to you. Let's give Ajay.
Well, I have an opinion about most guys on the team, and I'll just stay with the players. I won't go into the front office or Tom Thibodeau because I don't want to get. No, Queen, I don't want to get you upset with the Tom Thibodeau stuff. But guys, so I'll tell you who disappointed. Stafford Dunn just mentioned. Josh Hart to me is disappointing. His inconsistency is what disappoints me. Not that he. I mean, some games he'll come in and he'll ball out. He does all little things that make us like. Actually, he's won games for us, and then he'll come back and then, like the game against the Orlando Magic, he had 4 points. Josh Hart. Like, I mean, you have to pick up the slacks, man. We missing some guys. Obviously, the guys, a couple of guys who are no longer here, I'm disappointed, but I'm not even going to mention them because Queen, you want guys that are on the team, right? Yeah. In terms of guys who exceeded expectation, Jalen Brunson, because he's playing better. And as LeBron was it LeBron who said he's playing at more than an all-star level at this point? And because he was great last year, and this year he's out of his mind. The guy is a bucket. Like he's the guy you can go down the stretch when you need a bucket or when you need to make a play, when you make something happen. So he's actually better than last year, right? Julius Randle exceeded expectations, not by his numbers, but by the fact that he started the season like the worst percentage in NBA history, right? Somehow he caught up to the point where he made the all-star team. To me, that's somebody who doesn't give up, somebody who like really is pushing no matter what. He exceeded expectation to me. Precious Achiuwa, A little bit, because and from the time he was traded, I think we had a show, Queen, the emergency show. I was like, listen, Precious Achua, he's not a scrub. He can play. If given the opportunity, he's gonna perform. And he's got the opportunity, he's performing. So he exceeded expectation in the sense that he's able to adjust and be the type of player that Tom Thibodeau like. He adjusts to Thibodeau's style of play that fast. You know what I'm saying? OG Anunoby, I know what he was, but I need to see more of him. He played a few games for us, and we were on the winning we won a whole lot of games while he was there, but I need to see him for much longer than that. And the last guy, I think he's the last guy on my list that exceeded expectation is Deuce McBride. You see how Jerrell think Jericho Sims don't belong in the league?
Mhm.
I used to think Deuce McBride don't belong in the league, but he's proved me wrong. He can play, even he doesn't get consistent minutes, but when his number's called, he comes in, he does what he has to do. And also shout out to Isaiah Hartenstein. When he was playing out west, he was a good player, but he's upped his level. Not that he's exceeding expectation, but he's meeting expectation. Like he is the player he can be. Not that he's not going beyond like what he thought he could do. When we signed him up, we knew he could be this player. So he's right where we thought he would be. And that's it. And Taj Gibson, just for being here. Shout out to Josh just for being here, man. Just for running up and down the court, man.
I will say this in Josh Hart's defense, and shout out to JJ who made a good point. You can't really judge him on numbers. He's offensive numbers because he's just not an offensive player. But also, when you look at the advanced stats and you look at the on-off numbers, the Knicks are better when Josh Hart is on the floor, despite the fact that his counting stats may not always show up.
Queen, I agree 100% with that statement. What I'm saying is, and he's good at reading the game, see what's needed to make the winning plays. Sometimes the game asks for you to score more. And he's got to come through in those instances.
But he's not a scorer, though. It's like asking Mitchell Robinson to score, asking Jalen Brunson to get you a stop. That's just not the game is calling for a stop from Jalen Brunson against Trae Young. He ain't getting it. The game is calling for Mitchell Robinson to post up this 5, 6, 7 guy that's guarding him. He ain't doing it.
No, he's not. Queen.
So Josh Hart, if you look
I don't think that he's not. I don't think. Hold on, I don't think that he's not a scorer. He can score. Okay, he's not a shooter. He's not a great shooter. He doesn't shoot in the basket. Yeah, he could put the ball in the basket.
You think he's a scorer though?
No, listen. Okay, sometimes
the ball in the basket.
Right.
I don't think he's a shooter or a scorer.
Okay, so I'll rephrase it. Sometimes the games call for you to put the ball in the basket, and you need to do that a little more to get us that win. You need to do what you got to do.
If you don't have the skill, what I'm trying to say?
Let me explain how Ajay's saying it. Right, it has a lot of times he has open shots and hesitate to shoot.
Why do you think that is?
You have to have confidence in your shot.
Okay,
that's why they're leaving you open. Okay. Last year you were shooting, I don't know how much percent, but you were shooting much better last year. So what's the difference?
But that was an aberration, though. In Portland, before he came over to us, he was shooting 30%. Then
I understand that. But what I'm saying to you, we talking about like last year, that Cleveland game when he hit that big shot. We talking about some of them shots where he normally was doing last year that we need to see this year that he hasn't been consistently doing. It's like he's been hesitating on the shot.
Okay.
I'm not saying every time he has to do it. Don't get me wrong. You understand what I'm saying? But I feel like if you have the shot, let it fly. Don't hesitate. If the coach tell you to let it fly, let it fly. You never know it's gonna go in. That's what we have you for. That's why AJ's saying
That ain't why we
need
have
bet
them.
big times. So if they leaving you open, make the shot. That's all I'm saying.
And
The consistency.
And it's a domino effect too. They leave you open. You know what that means? That means there's one free guy. There's one guy who's free to double team Jalen
But
Brunson
even
because
if
they
he
don't have to worry
takes the
about
shot, they still gonna leave it open because they're playing the percentages. He's not a good three. So even if he hit 2, they still gonna leave him open. They playing the percentage. He's not a good three.
But guess what? It's gonna have a time where he do make that shot and it's gonna hit them hard in their chest. So he could go 1 for 9. But you see that 1 3-point shot, and it's to win the game. I'll take it.
He better not go 1 for 9, though.
I'm just saying hypothetically, you know what I mean? Come on, Jerrell. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think we got to bring our expectations of Josh Hart's offensively down. You got to bring it down. This is somebody, if he gets you 9 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, hit 1 3-pointer, plays really good defense, get you some, and he's going to get his points probably off of 1 3-pointer and like 2 transition baskets. You know what I mean?
Queen, I believe nobody in disagreeing with what you're saying, but it's just a consistency. That's all we're saying. You need to do it more often.
Okay.
Not one game you do
more.
this, and then the next game you slack off at 4 points. You understand what I'm saying?
The consistency in Josh Hart can't be measured in points.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm just saying. His consistency, there's going to be games he's going to have 12. There's going to be games when he has 6 because that's just not his game. You got to measure him by his energy level and those other stats. How many assists he had, how many rebounds he had. You know, what was his defense like? Some of it you got to even watch the game because you're not going to even be able to see it in the box score.
I mean, the ancillary stats, he's going to always be Josh Hart when he does that, but.
That's Josh Hart?
Yeah.
You get over 8 points for Josh Hart, that's gravy. Maybe 10.
I just need him to let it fly. I just need him to let it fly. I just need him to let it fly when it needs to fly.
I hear that part.
All right.
I hear that part. Jerrell?
Man, if we got 20 players, y'all name 18 of them. So I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Oh, you could piggyback off of one of the players that was already said.
Yeah, I'm a piggyback on Dante DiVincenzo, but for a different reason though, not because of the skill set. When we got Dante DiVincenzo, I always said that I think IQ's days were numbered here because he'll be cheaper and he can pretty much do the exact same thing. My thing with Dante DiVincenzo is the way he stepped up when Julius Randle got hurt. Like he really became my second option.
Yeah.
Like he was scoring 30 points a game at one point. That is not the Dante DiVincenzo that I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not because of the skill set. I know he can get his own shot a little bit, not crazy, but I knew he was good in a lot of areas. But his mentality changed on this team.
Right.
Like his game changed because of his mentality, not because of the skill set. So for me, exceeding expectations just because of the way he looks at the game now that Julius Randle got hurt and he has to step up. I never saw that Dante DiVincenzo. He's never been put in that position before. Like he played for Milwaukee. He obviously didn't have to be the second option or third option there. Golden State is the same way. This is the first time he actually got the ball and he's actually doing something with it. And I'm actually shocked that he's actually playing that well. Like he's handling the pressure very, very well.
Yeah.
So he exceeds my expectations. Who hasn't met expectations? I think everybody pretty much exceeded or got to their expectations. The ones that's still on the team,
right?
Because that's why our record is so good. Like we've been playing very, very well.
That's a good point.
Like everybody's playing well. Like you said in the beginning of the show, Tom Thibodeau has how many players playing their best basketball? Like it's like 4 or 5 players, including Mitchell Robinson before he got hurt, that is playing his best basketball in their careers right now. So pretty much everybody on the team that's still on here has exceeded expectations. Even Jalen Brunson, he's playing better than he played last year.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. That's why he made the All-Star team this year.
Yeah.
So like the whole team is playing above their expectations, especially the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I will say this about DiVincenzo. I mean, one of the reasons about the Knicks getting another star wasn't about what DiVincenzo wasn't doing, was about just needing one other player that can get their own shot.
Mhm.
You know, like going into the playoffs with just Brunson that can get his own shot, maybe Randall, you know, depending, but Randall pay more in the box, they can crowd him. And OG, you know, he may have that skill set where he can drive and pull up, but the aggressiveness, that mindset is not there. I'm like, man, in the playoffs, you got players that could go get their own shot. And you know, if this is the next level of Devo's game,
Mhm.
that he's not only going to be somebody that can shoot, but he's going to create for himself and others. That's super impressive. That helps the Knicks a lot in their quest to win the championship, because now you're not just somebody that has to play off of Brunson and Randall. You can go get it if you need to, and you can create for others if you need to. He's showing, you know, he's showing a lot. And he was my breakout candidate of the year, because I remember reading some articles that he's been injured. He may not have reached his ceiling just because of the multiple injuries he's had over his young career. He may not be at his ceiling. And he's definitely shown that he's not. You know,
Right.
he's not.
That's one thing about him. That's one thing about him too. He's been injury prone his whole career, pretty much. I think he only had. I think last year was one of the few times that I think he only missed, like, I don't know how many games he missed, but it wasn't that many. But he didn't start half of the year because he was in Golden State, obviously. But he still started just as many games there as I think he has here already.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I saw his stats a little earlier today. But yeah, Dante DiVincenzo is balling like that. And part of what you said is part of the main reason we wanted DeJounte Murray over here too.
Correct.
It's not because we wasn't happy with what Dante was doing. It's just that we didn't know if he was able to be that second option like that.
Right.
Now that I see he can, then yeah, like Murray isn't needed.
Correct.
But you know, I still would have liked him though.
Right. And you see him handling the ball more too.
Right. Exactly.
Which is what we wanted. At least I wanted. Besides Brunson, somebody else who can handle the ball, bring the ball up, initiate the offense. And he's been doing that. He's looked exceptional. And he's probably, out of everybody on the team, he may have exceeded expectations the most.
Mm-hmm. Well, him and Precious also.
Whenever you say Precious, I think of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think Precious is definitely exceeded.
Can I put in a honorable mention?
Yes. Somebody or Dope come with Frank Ntilikina.
No. This gonna rub a lot of you know. Shout out to Tibbs. Yes.
Oh, boy.
Shout out.
Staff.
Yeah, man.
It ain't 11 o'clock yet, bro. Don't do that.
Nah, start 6 minutes.
Got 6 minutes, bro. They're gonna give you the tomato.
Listen, shout out to Tibbs. Honorable mention. Listen, fourth seed going into the All-Star game with all these injuries. You know what I mean? Little sick in the head a little sometimes, but hey, I'll take the good with the bad, and I'm rolling with him. So, yeah, honorable mention, man. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah. I think we underestimate the culture he's brought, the mentality, players buying in.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what player comes through this door, whatever Tibbs is selling, they are buying in. That lets you know that you have a strong culture. And the Knicks don't quit. You got to give a coach credit for that. You have a team that plays 48 minutes. They don't quit. Now, some of it is in their DNA of the player. Don't get me wrong. But not all the time. Like that's the fit. So some of these players, you don't even need to coach grit because they gritty. You get those type of players, Ajay, to match your coach. So you don't have to be coaching grit and and playing 48 minutes, you already get players that are a match for him. That's buying what he's selling. So shout out to Thibodeau. You got to give him some credit for where the Knicks are right now as well.
That's why half the team is gone.
Just a little bit of credit. Just a little bit of credit.
That's why half the team is gone. Obi was out of here first because he was the one that was the least. And I'm no disrespect to Obi and what he does, but he was the least like Thibodeau, type of player, and he went first.
They tried doing it Leon's way, and it didn't work. They tried going for the big stories, the Kemba Walker, the Obi Toppin, you know what I'm saying? They tried going for the story stuff. So to see him and Tom being on the same page, okay, if I'm gonna go your route, then I have to get the players that's built for you and how you run your system. And none of these guys is complaining about Tom. Only ones that's complaining is the fan base, us. We complaining about the minutes. Them guys, they good with what Tom is doing for them. And then the great thing about having a lot of players want, just to go back to Dante real quick, a lot of people talk about having an opportunity. Let me get the playing time. Let me do this. Let me do that. You know what I'm saying? But when Dante having his opportunity come about, when opportunity presents itself, there's a lot of people that shy away from it. They don't want to touch that fire. They don't really, they can talk about being in it, but when it comes, they don't want no part of it. It's kind of like, back in the days when you had a beef with your man, it's supposed to be your man, and he ain't getting in the fire with you. But when the opportunity presented himself, for Dante, he realized this is my chance and my opportunity to step up and finally show who I can be in this league. Outside of the little injury and outside of playing behind other people, you know what I'm saying, in other organizations, he ran with this opportunity and took advantage of his chance. And not only is, he clicking, far as, the total offense on that defensive end, he's giving us things, that, we didn't know that he really would, will bite down and want to bring to the table. So that's even making it that much better. That guy's playing both sides of the court, both sides of it. And he's doing it very well. Yeah, so, just, piggyback, on Uncle Rel a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to DiVincenzo. I personally thought I was going to see him in that three-point shooting contest.
I know, right?
I thought I was going to see that. And both of them at that point in time when they was making the list, we was the highest percentage shooting, three-point shooting backcourt it was in the league. You could have put both of them in there. You did it with Clay and Steph. But, we can't ask for so much, with us, because we are hot commodity. We on a lot of topics. We all over the internets in the world, you know what I'm saying? People getting on our way. And shout out to, Big Pert. He been rocking with us. Shout out to Barkley. He been rocking with us. And other people trying to rock with us. No shout out to Kenny Smith. Seen that fake interview you did with Brunson yesterday. I saw that. Come on, man. Brunson should have told, yeah, but I ain't going to forget that you said every night and I go on the court, I'm not going to be one of the best players. He should have pulled his card right then and there.
Right.
Real conversation, because we both New Yorkers, you know what I'm saying? So we talk like that, you know what I mean? But, that's another debate. But that's what makes our regime so strong. We used to dealing with the hateness. We used to you not liking us. We used to you not liking our swag, the way we dress, the way we walk, the way we talk. And we used to you not liking us for that, you know what I'm saying? But that only makes us stronger as, as the people, and that's why Brunson and a lot more players in on our squad are standing strong right now and looking like they're looking now, because the naysayers keep doubting them, you know what I'm saying? Every time when they get a chance, to just find some type of knick-knack because they bored to say something negative about our players and teams. But every time this year, we've been turning around and just laughing at them. And it's a beautiful season. And guess what? It's to be continued. It's another volume. Volume 1 is only started. Volume 2 is coming. It's coming. Yeah, just stay along.
Yeah. Anybody else we didn't mention as far as met or exceeded expectations? I think I think we pretty much covered everything. I think OG, as injuries aside, I kind of think he exceeded expectations, though. Um, he's almost like Josh Hart in the sense that there's some things that he does that just don't show up in that box score either. He's one of those guys that what he does, he elevates our team, and there's really no stat for that. We're just better when he's, when he's on the floor. And listen, there might be, like we talking about Devo having a little bit more in him. OG might have a little bit more in him offensively. I don't know if we're going to see it this season. Maybe it might take another season. We'll see. But he might have a little something more. He got to tighten up that handle. Though. If he can just get with somebody and tighten up that handle, that's going to help.
Queen, he got a lot more, Queen. And I'm glad that I'm gonna be one of the ones that's gonna see it. And the reason why I said just to be real quick, when he was in Toronto, he's always been a 4th seed. It won't no need for me to work on my game during the all season. It won't no need for me to, I'm behind Fleet. I'm behind Larry. I'm behind Fleet. I'm behind Pascal. I'm behind these guys. I'm a 4th seed. And then when you you get rid of Larry, you still push me down because you ain't got Barnes. You know what I'm saying? I'm behind these guys. So I know what my role is to play solid defense. Now you're amongst the team where we're talking about you being the third person to the big three. This guy is going to go in the offseason completely work on his game. And he don't show us some glimpses or something. You don't see him getting the lane, nudge you off, step back. You don't see something. So now he know that I'm going to go ahead and elevate my offense again because they look at me as the third, option, especially in this starting lineup, man. Stay tuned next season for OG. I'm telling everybody, and I believe in his game. He get ready to do some things and add some things to his game to handle, to take you off the dribble, some more post up. You're going to get a total package of a small forward that we ain't had in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, though, would you say the third option is DiVincenzo right now?
No, I wouldn't say that.
You would still say it's OG.
Yeah, I still would say it's OG. Okay. But they could be a 1A, 1S / you know what I'm saying? But
3A, 3B.
Yeah. To me,
3A, 3B.
Yeah, to me it's still gonna be OG, you know what I'm saying? But Dante is right there and he's taking up slack, letting it be known I'm here if y'all need me. And I'm going to continue on making other plays around the court. But I believe it's still OG, no doubt, because he can shoot, but probably not as sharp shooters as Dante, but Dante's more of a streak shooter. OG's more of like, a concentrated shooter. But if his shot ain't on, he do other things, go to the basket, backdoor cuts, and then finishing at the rim, But, both of them guys perfect fit for us. Let me just
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Especially with what Devo is showing of late.
Mm-hmm.
Because it changes what we need in the offseason. And anything else before I move to the last segment?
Just defensively, OG Anunoby is everything that we wanted and more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. I hadn't seen the Knicks have a wing that defends like that dude does. I mean, long and just everywhere. Like, I mean, he's guarding his man. He's worried about protecting the paint. He'd come back and go, like, you think he's out of a play, and all of a sudden he's got like octopus arms. He's in every passing lane and just he's long for days and he hustles and he just, man, that's my kind of. I love that defense, man. I miss it already, man. I can watch him play defense all day.
He got gorilla arms.
Hey, Captain, I keep saying he the young Shane Battier. That's what I be saying. He reminds me so much of Shane Battier.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Yeah. No doubt about it. All right. So, I mean, we had the conversation last week about the Knicks being championship contenders. And I think with the trade, some of us hardcore holdouts, came over, and myself, Jerrell, a few others. If you had to pick a player who you think is going to be the key to the Knicks' success in the playoffs, who would you pick? Geoff, we'll start with you.
OG. I think OG defensively. That is the piece to the puzzle, boy. It gives us so much lineup versatility with what we can go big and cause teams problems. We could put them we could even put them at the 4 and go small. There's so much that we can do when he's out there. He's the perfect safety net for Brunson. And if we get healthy Ihart and Mitch, I would love to see Mitch and OG together on the second unit. I mean, I just mean to tell you, I think that defense they may not give up any points, especially if you have McBride out there too. I mean, just lock it down. Just shut them down. They may not score any points on that unit, but I mean, they're gonna be tough defensively. But you can mitigate that too, because you can, we have enough shooters that, and it's another thing that when he's healthy, the addition of Bojan works too, because he can cover for a lot of Bojan's deficiencies in the second unit. And again, you can have that length, you can have that shot creation. He helps out, so you can play Bojan and Josh Hart and OG and feel pretty good. And Burks even as at the 1, because you have enough shot creation in that second unit. And whether it be Precious at the 5 or Mitch at the 5, I don't know. I mean, it depends on who's healthy, obviously, but I think Anunoby is the key to the whole thing, because I think Brunson is solid. He's going to give us what he can give us, and I think that OG helps Randall too. Like I just think it allows Randall to focus more on the things that he does well. And oh, by the way, that corner 3-point shooting is, I mean, it's magic for the spacing for that first unit. And we can just smack teams around with that first unit. I mean, and we saw it in just that limited samples. We were the best team in the universe in January. Right. I mean, and it wasn't close. I mean, we took Denver and we took them behind the woodshed. We treated the Sixers like they stole something. I mean, we was just crushing teams and just, I mean, just absolutely destroying anybody that came in our path, and that a lot, and that coincided with the Anunoby trade and with Hartenstein. I just think that meshes really well together. And DiVincenzo, I think it helps him out too, because he loves to get in the passing lanes. He's really good at stealing the ball, and again, it mitigates some of the weaknesses of Brunson, and it just makes everything fit to me. So he's the guy as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. All right, Staffer. Who's the key to the Knicks' success other than Brunson?
Man, you should know my answer already. It has to be Randall. It just has to be him. He has to give us that playoff performance that we've been urging to see last year before he got injured. And then the Atlanta game, he really didn't have no help, so I kind of gave him a pass on that one. But, I think once we get him going and we get that bully and we that shoulder good, and he put that shoulder in them boys' chest, and he go up and he start doing his little fade and going to the basket, and just 3-level score, and from the outside just doing his thing. I think he is the key for us moving forward, because it's kind of been disappointing the past few years. We have been in the playoffs and he hasn't showed up. But I've been saying since season start, I just have a feeling that this year, once we get to that playoff, I think we're gonna see a playoff Randall. All right. I think we're gonna see what he's made of. And I think once we get him going, man, I think everything will fall into place because the defense gonna collapse. He's gonna find shooters, Bronson, Devo, even OG as Geoff was saying, the spacing. You know what I mean? With the three, so we're gonna be smacking teams. So it's gonna be hard to guard us because we got a raging bull in the middle. You know what I mean? And then after we got shooters and defensive wings that's just elite and legit. So I think Randall is the key. And once we get him going and he has a good game, I think everything should fall into place and we should be running through the East.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with you. Because I think without Randall, that puts a lot of pressure on the other guys. And I'm not saying the other guys can't show up. Don't get me wrong, or step up, I should say. But it puts a lot of pressure on them to come out of their role and be something other than we signed them to be. So I think Randall is the key as well. I think the further you go in the playoffs, the harder it gets, the tougher the teams are. Everybody knows what you want to do anyway, but those really good teams, they have the personnel to execute, to stop you. Other teams may know, well, this is how you stop the Knicks, but they may not have the personnel to do it. The further you go into the playoffs, the more those teams are going to have the personnel to do it. And you got to have your best guys playing their best basketball. And Randall is one of our best guys. And that allows Devo to be Devo. That allows Bojan to be Bojan, Burke to be Burke, and not asking them to be something other than they are. So I'm in agreement with you, Stafford. He would be my choice as well. I do think he's the key factor or X factor for the Knicks to be successful in the playoffs this year, in my opinion. I'm interested in what the rest of the panel has to say, though. Jerrell, we're going to you.
All right, my pick is obviously Julius Randle, but I'm trying to think what I can say that Stafford didn't say because you did a very good job, and so did you. Randle is the key. He's so much of the key to the playoffs that he's an all-star and an all-NBA player, and we don't care.
Right.
That says a lot. That is the only player in New York Knicks history that I know that we don't care what he does in the regular season when it comes to accomplishments and stuff. That's how much his playoff success is hanging at the balance when it comes to what type of player that he is and how we acknowledge Randle as a Knick. Like he's a 3-time All-Star now in 4 years, and he's probably going to make the All-NBA team again. And for the most part, New York Knicks fans don't care because of what his performances in the playoffs. So for us to be successful, he has to be the key, in my opinion. If he plays well, I don't see that many teams beating us.
Me either.
You can count them on one hand probably, and then even the teams that you think that can beat us, we probably might take them to 7 games and still can win, even if we're not favorites. So, yeah, Randle is definitely the key for me.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, he's not a known quantity in the playoffs,
right?
And even if it's because of the injury. Even if it's, 100% because of the injury, he's still not a known quantity.
Right.
Because we haven't had an opportunity to really see him do his thing, do what he does in the regular season. So hopefully the injury is out of the way. He's back 12, 14 games, to get himself right, get his stamina up so he can go into the playoffs strong. Because we need him. We need him. Ajay?
Well, in my opinion, it's not. And your question was who?
Who other than Brunson do you think is a key to the Knicks' success in the playoffs, or X factor, however you want to frame it?
I'm gonna tell you not who, but what the
Okay.
X factor would be in the playoffs.
Okay.
Our shooting. Okay. The last two times we've been in the playoffs, why did we lose? Because we haven't been able to put the ball in the basket.
Particularly
Okay.
in key times too.
Particularly in key times. So it's not which player come through, but it's like as a team, what do we do? And I think this is the first time in the past, I don't know how many years we had a collection of very good shooters on this team, at least percentage wise. So if they can keep their percentage, they can keep their regular season averages going on in playoffs, we're gonna be a problem. Okay. So, and I'm talking about not just the starting lineup, because we have obviously we know Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, DiVincenzo, those guys are effective.
Right.
Even OG Anunoby, he doesn't shoot a lot, but he's very effective in what he does.
Right.
Isaiah Hartenstein, same thing. I'm not counting Mitch because I don't know when he's coming back. And then now you look at the bench, right? You have Alec Burks coming off the bench. Even Deuce McBride, he's been shooting the ball pretty well. So if these guys can keep that going, Bogdanovich has been shooting, even Precious he's shooting a very high percentage because obviously it's a lot of putbacks. But he, if these guys can keep, I don't expect it to be the same thing in the playoffs, but if the drop from the regular season is not too drastic, man, we go in places. All right. So it's not a who for me, it's a what. Our defense is already good. We already got a good defense. We know that. Yeah. But if we can keep that shooting going, at least close to what we have it now, forget it. So
yeah. And not just the shooting is good. And this is something I've been talking about since the season ended last year. We need shooting around Brunson and Randall. But our defense is better. Top 10. Then our depth is better. That was a big concern of mine going into the playoffs with McBride and Grimes, young players. You're counting on them to lead your bench. And now we still have McBride, but we got Burks and Bojan. So that definitely strengthens the bench. And now we're not going in as the youngest team. We're still young, but we're not going in with player, 1 year experience, 2 years experience. So I really like what the Knicks have going for them going into the playoffs. What we don't have, though, and I'm interested in your thoughts on this, is deep playoff experience. So I guess my question is, do you think as Knicks fans, we're underestimating what it takes to get a chip? Because we just put this team together and already fans are calling for the Knicks to win the championship, which is fine to want it. But to the point at that, if they don't win it, there's going to be a lot of disappointment in Knick land. And I'm wondering if that's because there's an underestimation of just what it takes to go through each round and win. Thoughts on that?
I don't think this was ever supposed to be the year, though. Like, I think next year, like even from an organizational standpoint, I think next year was designed to be the year. Now, I'm not saying to write off the season or anything like that, but what I am saying is that I think this is another year for the playoff growing pains and those sorts of things. And hopefully, like Kerry Cox says, hopefully we do get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the more playoffs the experience that we get, the better off we're going to be, because, you go through that crucible together, and that's how you improve. But it all depends on their health, as we've been saying. If this team is healthy, they're a better than puncher's chance now. Like I said before the trade deadline, that we had a puncher's chance. I honestly believe that if they are healthy, 100%, they're the third best team in the NBA, in my opinion. I think Boston is better, and I think you have to give it to the champs until somebody takes it from them. But the Clippers are up there too. So 3 or 4, like top 4. I'm willing to say that. I'll put our guys up against anybody, and that includes Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Cleveland. I don't care. I mean, to think about Bogey and Burks getting to play just like 14, 15 minutes off the bench and just kind of do their thing in their role and be able to shine and provide that scoring off the bench and not be relied upon to, in a starter's role just because we have the depth and we have the positional versatility to create lineup problems for anybody, matchup problems for anybody. We can go smaller, we can go faster, we can go all defense, we can have all shooters on the floor if we want to. There's so many different permutations about that this team can do that they've never been able to do before. And so, and I kind of like that nobody's really going to see our best shot. You know what I mean? Because if we can just hit it right and get healthy right when the playoffs come and everybody's just kind of starting, they're not going to have a ton of tape on how you guard the Knicks, on how you know what I mean? You can have a game plan in mind, but you don't have anything tied and, really tested. You know what I mean? In other words, Boston's top 6, everybody's kind of seen them all year long. And yeah, they're really tough to stop, but you have 82 games worth of film together as a unit to be able to game plan against. With the Knicks, you're not really going to have that. You're going to have a very small sample size. And I think that, again, if we can get healthy, which is a planet Jupiter size if, right? I mean, that could be the thing that crashes this season and keeps us from advancing out of the first round if the injuries stay serious. But if we can be healthy, there's not going to be a lot of tape on us. There's not going to be a lot of holes in this roster. There's not going to be a lot of weak spots. They can defend. They can score. They have clutch time scoring. They have multiple options they can go to down the stretch. There's not a whole lot of weaknesses when this team is whole.
Right. In terms of skill set, I want to say that Kevin Bergen, let me tell you what will happen in the playoffs. Teams will trap Brunson and double Randall. We need the game. There's no game plan because the team is better now. You trap Brunson if you want to. That means you're leaving one of the shooters open. You double Randall if you want to. The difference is now we got players out there that can hit a shot. We got Devo that can shoot. We got OG that can shoot. If Burks is in the game, if Bojan is in the game. So that's what you want teams to do. This is why you get shooters, so that the defense has to choose. You're going to stay home with the shooters? Now Randall and Brunson get to work one-on-one, and they maestros one-on-one. You want to double Brunson and double Randall? That means you're going to leave a shooter open. And as long as they're knocking down shots, the Knicks, to Jeff's point, the Knicks are a very balanced team right now. It's just a matter of, it's another level of intensity in the playoffs. But the deeper you go in the playoffs, the intensity ratchets it up a little bit more. And they taken away so many of your options. You still got to be able to come through despite that. And, and we'll get to see where the Knicks are. What I do like about them is the mental toughness and the fact that they're not going to give up, period. Anybody else want to comment?
Yeah, this team is so completely all the way around. I mean, I just, just sitting here just thinking about the opportunity. We can't go small ball, and we could just put Julius at the 5, OG at the 4, and put Bobo at the 3, and put Dante at the 2, and still have Brunson at the 1. Boy, you got some shooting out there. So before you can become a shooter on the court, or before you start shooting on the court, you have to become a threat. And now the league knows that we're a threat from the perimeter. They know we have people that can shoot from different places all over the planet or the NBA. So, that's a great thing. But I'm gonna go back to when for the question, who do you think is the person besides Brunson? And I'm gonna give my take on it. And my take is while we're talking about all of that is Tom. Point blank is Tom. We got everything that's in place for you, Tom. This is for you. This is the type team you wanted and everything. Only thing that's holding us back is health. If the health gets along, it's up to you, Tom. You got to be able to push the right buttons, pull the right plugs, make the right switches, make the right changes, you know what I'm saying? At the most keyest point times of games, crucial time, you got to be on your A game as far as your coaching to make all this worth it. This is what you wanted. You wanted a full roster. See, this is the type roster that Leon can look back and say, okay, I gave him the roster and everybody's back and everybody's healthy and he couldn't pull the plugs. Now do I have to go get a coach? You know what I'm saying? This here is on Tom. Tom, you have to make this work. You have to make this right. You know what I'm saying? Especially if everybody is suited up on that sideline and your normal starters is on that floor. You know, it's where you're coaching your X's and O's. It all comes into the playoff and everything right now. That's where you're only shaky at. You're shaky as far as you're making in-game changes and in-game situations and change. That's where you're shaky at. But with this roster right here, you're going to have to make it right. This is all up to you, Tom. I can easily say, go along with Julius, because Julius, you know what I'm saying, you have nobody else to blame, you know what I'm saying. Oh, you got guys all around that's been in the playoff. As far as going deep, we're as deep as our point guard can go. And that's our general and our floor leader. And he's already been to the Western Conference Finals. So that means the team can go very, very, you know what I'm saying, far. And 1 year here, he already took us to the second round. 1 year here, he already played for Olympic team. 2 years in his second year, he should have been back-to-back All-Star. But this guy, he gets an opportunity to not only even talk to the guys at the Olympics, that getting their whispers in the ear. Now he gets a chance to do that at the All-Star game. Listen, blah blah blah. You see what we're doing over here? What you want to do, dude? I get you over here. This is things that's paying off for our guy Brunson. But more importantly, this is on Tom. Tom, you have to make it work. But you know what I'm saying? Not only for you, but for the organization, for the fan bases, and everybody. We're riding on Tom Tibb right now because there's nothing else that the office can do. And the players only can get healthy. You got to have everybody in position where they need to be positioned. And when things ain't working, don't be hesitant to put somebody else in, because that's just how far this roster is. It's no 9-man elimination. You go far as 12 if you have to, because you got players that can play. And they're showing you that right here, right now. So, yeah, I'm putting everything.
Are you saying, though, that it's on Tibbs if we don't win a championship this year?
No, I'm saying it's on Tom to make this right. I'm not saying
making it right look like.
What making it look like right is you got to get to the Eastern Conference Final if everybody's healthy. If you get to the Eastern Conference Final and say we go 5-6 games into that and we wind up losing that series, then you can say, okay, we need one more year. Maybe they ain't finished jelly. You know what I'm saying? But if you get everybody back and you donut, that means you can't lead these guys here. You can't lead them. There's nowhere in the world this roster, as long as it's healthy, should be anything shorter than what you had last year. You had people that was used to not showing up and people who could not shoot. It's no reason for you not to go further than what we did last year with a complete roster. With Miami ain't got a full roster how they want. Milwaukee is not like they should be. And Philly is not like they should be. And Indiana just want to run up and down the court. They ain't playing no D. Only thing you have to do is meet Boston in that Eastern Conference. And all you got to do, as long as you inside that 7th seed, if you 7 seed at the worst, when everybody come back, you can see Boston in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I'm going to push back a little bit. I do think the Knicks are good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the Knicks are good enough to get to the finals. But I think it's more than roster. It's more than having the roster. There's levels to it. The Knicks have a roster that has never been in with these expectations, have never been past the second round. The only reason the Knicks got to the second round is because they played a Cleveland team that was soft and not ready.
Right.
So I think that there's a difference between being a contender on paper and winning a championship. And sometimes it takes years to get there. Look at Philly. They got Embiid. They've never gotten out the second round. It took Denver was lost in the first round. I can't tell you how many times before they finally won the championship. Boston has been championship contenders and had the roster. I can't tell you how many times, and they've yet to want to win it. So I'm just pushing back on the narrative that the Knicks have the roster, because first of all, if the Knicks really had the roster, they wouldn't be out there savoring these draft picks trying to get a superstar. If they really felt they had the roster, the Knicks are still out there looking for a superstar. So do they really think they have the roster? So I guess I'm just trying to be in that middle place between, yes, we can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, we can get to the finals. But if we don't, we wouldn't be the first team that had to have growing pains on their way to a championship. It's not the easiest thing to do. We don't know how these guys are going to respond when you get to the second round against a Milwaukee. Say what you want to say about how they playing now. They still got Giannis and Dave. We don't know how we're going to respond in the Eastern. If we get to the Eastern Conference, we don't know. We don't have deep playoff experience other than Brunson. So the only thing I'm pushing back on is the expectations of, if we don't do it, people feeling so disappointed that we got to tear it down. We need a new coach. We got to get rid of some players. It's okay this team this is not even the team that went to the playoffs last year. It's okay to have growing pains is the only thing I'm trying to say. If we don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, we get swept in the first round. Yeah. But it's Tom, but it's also players showing up when the lights are bright too.
See, that's why, and that's the great thing, that we all have our different opinions. But that's why I say that if these guys is this and if these guys is that, you know what I'm saying? If they're healthy and everything, that's why I put it on Tom. And that's just basketball. If I make my roster to where it's better than what it was last year on the strip that there was no superstar available, this is the best roster you can put together in the trade deadline throughout the entire season without no superstar on it.
Right.
We don't have no superstar, no megastar. We have one in the making, but other people have superstars and everything, but they don't have a whole body of work. So when I'm saying that when I'm talking about on Tom, that means Tom has got to coach. He's got to coach and make people believe and understand that they can be what they say we're not. You got to install that into players. Sometimes you got to motivate these guys and get them going. You know what I'm saying? He has to pull out all the stops. And with a roster like this that's already being built, that's how officers look at it. I don't get you the complete roster and you couldn't take it there. Do I need to get another coach that can elevate these guys?
I'm not disagreeing with you, Boogie, but I'm saying
I'm trying to understand the disagreement.
That can't be a 1 year thing. It can't be a 1 year thing. Look how many years Boston has had a championship contending team. They've yet to win it. They've had better rosters than the Knicks have right now. They haven't won it.
I get it. You say it's not a 1 year thing, but what you also gotta know is this is year 4. This is the end of his
with a championship contending roster.
No. What I'm saying is you got 1 year for a 5-year contract. You got 1 year. That's it. So I'm going to renegotiate your deal, or I'm going to go get somebody else I feel that could come in and go take these guys further. See, I'm looking at all that. This is 4th year. And this is the best roster. Now, for me to believe in him to do something, I got to give him a whole new deal. Because nobody like to go in their 5th year without a deal.
You got to give Tom Thibodeau, like to me, the front office and Tom Thibodeau have done enough already to get another deal. I think it's totally unfair to put together a championship roster on paper in the middle of the season and say, "Oh, well, you need to get me to the Eastern Conference Final, or you're not getting another contract." To me, I think it's totally unfair. Now, you have a championship contending roster 2 years, 3 years, you're not making it, you gotta go. But 1 year, no.
So you think this team right here? So in other words, you think last year's team better than this team?
That's not what I'm saying. But
because
the Eastern Conference is different, Boogie. The Eastern Conference is much tougher than it was last year. The Cleveland Cabinet.
Why did much? We already know what we can do with Cleveland. Milwaukee is weaker. But Philly is weaker.
Cleveland is not the Cleveland from last year. Listen, I believe the Knicks can beat Cleveland. I'm not saying the Knicks can't beat Cleveland. What I'm trying to say is, let's not act like all we got to do is just add on to last year. It's a totally different year. Cleveland is much better than they were last year. Much better than they were last year. Can we beat them? Absolutely we can. Can we beat Milwaukee? Absolutely we can. But I'm just pushing back on the narrative that, oh, you got the roster, you need to win the championship this year, when none of these other teams won it in 1 year. Milwaukee didn't win it in 1 year. Boston didn't win it in 1 year. None of these teams won it in 1 year. Why do the Knicks have to win it in 1 year? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you entitled to that? I love you, sis. Don't worry about you. If your pension got raised, let it be raised. You know what I'm saying? You raised
but Jay Boogie, I think
hold up, Snap. Let us get it out of the way.
I'm not saying we can't win. I'm just saying if we don't tear it down. There's many teams on their way to have had disappointing seasons and came back the next season and went all the way. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Can I add a little something to all that?
Maybe.
As shout out
it's
to
all
Freezy.
been said. I'm not sure what you'd be able to add, but you could.
No. Basketball. Like Freezy would say, I'm gonna throw a pebble in your shoes, right? We may make it to the Eastern Conference Final this year and never sniff the Eastern Conference Final for the next 10 years. Okay. It's not necessarily Queen, I know you mentioned Boston's, they've been, contenders. That doesn't mean anything. And you also said every season is different, and you're right. Every season's different. You may listen, we may improve this team this year and then get knocked out of the first round. We have a better team. That doesn't mean we're going to go any further. Okay. Every season is a completely different entity. Let's not, I personally, I refuse to look at it and say, this year we make it to the Eastern Conference Final. Next year we got to make it to the final. Next year you may be a play-in team next year, even if you bring in players, improve your team, because there are a million different set of circumstances that determines like how the team plays or where the team goes. It could be major. It could be a major thing. It could be something as simple as the ref making a last second call that gives it that throws the game away. There are a million set of circumstances that could change anything.
It could be players wilting, who we think
exactly
is going to stand in there strong and do their thing,
yeah.
And then they get there and we notice that they not.
So we listen, if we could make it, that's why those teams, you make it as far as possible, because you may never get the opportunity to go there again, ever, even if you have a better team. Subsequent seasons, you may not make it there anymore.
You know what's crazy? I'm almost just as optimistic as Jay Boogie and Geoff, right? When it comes to us being fully healthy. But in the back of my mind, I always have to play like devil's advocate, because I like to see both sides of the argument or whatever. Not only are we good? We're talking and assuming how we're playing on paper. That paper still hasn't even been filled out yet because we have yet to play a single game with everybody.
Yeah.
So because of that, all we're really going off of is faith and, don't get me wrong, like educated guesses, because we have seen every player play before in this uniform, but none of them has played together yet. So how long, once they are healthy, do they have time to gel in order for us to make a long run in the playoffs? Because an unhealthy team that just get healthy at the end of the season that don't have time to gel has never won this playoff, have never won the NBA championship before. That stuff like that doesn't happen. So even though on paper, I really do think we can beat anybody, still, we still don't know what that paper looked like.
Yeah, hopefully we can get 14, 16 games, but whether that'll be enough remains to be seen.
What if we get like 6?
6?
Yeah, what if it's like the last 2 weeks of the season? It's not that far away. Like, it's not, I know it's the All-Star break, but we well over half of the season.
Mhm.
We only got like 20-something games left, right?
That's right.
We played.
I think it's
Wow, just
27.
27.
We played
27, Queen. That's what I
we
told
played
you
two
today.
thirds. We played
That's-
2/3 of the season.
That's what I told you today. We need to go
I was eating
17
my
and 10.
grits. I missed that point. I was,
Yeah, we need to go 17 and 10 to make it to 50.
So
if we got to get that 50 ball.
So
right.
Even the team that we like, that's on paper, and that paper could be balled up and thrown in the trash real fast. It only take one injury. When you take one of those dudes, it only take one of those dudes to not come back fully healthy.
Yeah, as one of the guys in the chat say, nothing is guaranteed. So I mean, we could say that we go into the Eastern Conference Finals and we get knocked out in the first round. Well, we as Queen, so we were gonna blow up the team, or we gonna fire the coach, or we gonna change up all the roster. Just gotta,
You can't do that.
We could.
And you know what? Listen, we watch the games. So if you're watching the games, you can see where the breakdowns are.
Right.
You can see if it's coaching. You can see if it's lack of shooting. You can see if it's that we wilted, under pressure. We'll be able to see that because we watch the games. You'll be able to figure it out. Yeah, but I didn't even think about that, Jerrell, that this team since the trade really hasn't played together.
The first trade.
The second
we had 2 of them. Like we really got rid of half of this roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. OG
only played how many games OG played? Like about what, 14?
Mm-hmm. But I know he never played with half of the team that we have now.
Well, that's your point right there. Not even the whole team. And then Burks and Bojan just came in. And they got to get chemistry.
Yeah, Mr. Robinson wasn't there for any of that.
Yeah, he hasn't played with Sims, Mitch, Bobo, or Burke. He hasn't played with none of them.
None of them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So the expectations we are carrying, Boogie, and it don't happen.
But I think almost everybody said with the caveat of health, though. I don't think anybody's saying that if all we have, if I don't, and maybe I shouldn't speak for anybody else, but at least for me, obviously if Randall doesn't come back this year, I don't expect us to get out of the first round. If OG doesn't get back this year, I don't really expect us to get out of the first round. I think we can survive without Robinson for the rest of the season, assuming Hartenstein is healthy. If we are without Hartenstein and Robinson the rest of the year, I don't expect us to get out of the first round. So, we're right now we're kind of we're glued to hope, right? Mm-hmm. We have, in other words, if we are a title-starved town, we all I haven't seen the Knicks win a championship in my lifetime, and so I want it so bad. But look, the only way that happens is that a lot's got to go right. A lot has to happen. A lot of dominoes have to fall into place that are on shaky ground at this point. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be optimistic that they don't come to fruition, because I think that there's a good possibility, especially with the injury that OG Anunoby's coming off of, that he is going to be back by mid-March. Randall, I don't know. I mean, how's that shoulder going to hold up to contact and his style of play? If he has to alter his style of play because the shoulder's not right, does that make him a less effective player and change how he plays and how we play? There's a lot of uncertainty in there, but at this point, what we've seen is that we have a core of players that can do big things, and we've seen it in stretches. You don't go 14-2 by accident, right? That's not, what they did was not a fluke, and the crazy part about it is that wasn't even 100% whole. That wasn't completely healthy when we did that, and so. A lot of it is, I think that we have this, our hunger and our starvation to see that winner is, it kind of drives us that, you hope for the absolute everything falls back into place when there's a good chance that maybe it doesn't. Maybe we're this year's version of the 2011 Chicago Bulls.
What happened? Refresh my memory.
That's the team that under Thibodeau, where Derrick Rose got hurt, and then
Boozer. You had Boozer. You had a young.
I thought you was going to tell a story of a team that lost in the second round, and the next year went on to win a championship.
And not about injuries.
Right.
Tell us the good stories, Geoff. You got any good ones?
Teams, because
we're Knicks fans. We don't get good stories. You want good stories? We got two of them. We got 1969, we got 1973. Those are the only good stories we got.
I thought you were going to say, listen, they lost in the second round. They came back the next year and they won it all. I'm like,
I was waiting for the perseverance. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for the get back.
Yeah. Somebody just said that I disagree with this. I think they got Bojan and Alex Burke specifically
in the rotation
for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because our bench was weak.
Yeah.
The Knicks bench was really weak going into the playoffs. Had we not made changes, I was really concerned about that. So
Bojan's a proven playoff scorer,
and that's another key to our playoff success too. If that bench could come in and hold the lead while our starters is getting rest. So
do you think we not have the best bench in the league right now? Do you think?
Who's saying that? Me saying that?
I'm asking you. Do you think?
Let me see. Burks, Hart, Bojan, Precious.
Mitch, if he's back.
Mitch.
If Mitch is back, it's going to be Mitch or Precious. I know some of y'all think Tibbs is going 10. I'd be shocked. But let's just say for sake of argument, Mitch and Precious. I don't want Mitch and
Precious. Just say 10.
Yeah, you start to cave in, Queen.
It ain't gonna be
10 player rotation.
It ain't gonna be 10.
I mean, we have a solid bench, but it's not deeply talented.
That's right.
So I didn't say we have the best bench.
Really? Burks, Bojan, Hart, Precious, and Mitch.
That's solid. That's solid, but I don't think it's the best. I wouldn't say it's the best.
That might be. They might make the play in that second unit.
What?
You right. See, now you know it's late. Stop, Steph. No, you ain't doing that.
It does
just wilding right now.
Oh no. I'm not agreeing with that at all. Hell no.
It doesn't have a floor leader. That's the only thing.
She might need to come over here and hit something over here, boy. Cause
I had to watch that
Friday Night Comedy Hour.
Those was our starters.
I think that is who has a better bench than that going into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference?
Oh, in the Eastern Conference.
In the East, you see, it didn't say that.
Yeah, you did switch it.
No, you know,
But even the playoff teams, who has a better bench than that?
Who have a better bench?
Who come off OKC's bench?
Yeah, but we have a
like
nice
Gordon
bench
Hayward
too.
over there now and stuff, right?
OKC have a nice bench too, yo. I think Denver have a nice bench too.
We definitely up there.
Clippers have a good bench. They got Westbrook on their bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, Westbrook Clippers got a good
But
bench.
they might just go to 7 though. The Knicks going to 9, and all of them can give you something.
We might need to go to 8.
I think we solid though. I'm not saying we trash. But
Jerrell, don't start no ish.
Yeah,
10-player rotation. When
Let me tell you, I think it's going to be 8 before it's 10. But
yeah, it'll be 8 before 10. AJ, this the playoffs. Tibbs
you will see. You
will see.
Tibbs gonna play 7 for
in his 10-player dream world. Still, you gotta have it. Give him
And
his
it's not
bubble.
just Tibbs. I was watching, listening to
after the first round. When it happens, we're gonna have a special show just to give me props. Say, you know what, you was right.
I think Tibbs
10-player rotation.
Tibbs wouldn't do that out of spite, just because he want everybody. Everybody want him to do that.
That's why I say it's all up to Tom, man. That's why I had to go back. Anytime y'all mention it, I got to remind you of it. It's up to Tom. He's got to figure out this whole package on what he's gonna do, how he gonna do it, when he gonna make trades. When he gonna make subs. If he's not gonna make subs, how long players gonna be on the bench? When I need to get them back? When I need to keep them on the bench? Tom has to do all that. And the only thing that we have a solid bench squad, but the only thing really missing out our bench is we don't have a leader. We don't have like if you take McCormick off the Indiana Pacers and put him maybe in Burke's spot, now you got a floor general.
Yeah,
he's not really a general. He's more of a street shooter that can get hot or get cold. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have a floor general running that second unit, but we still can get over the hump with a lot of these teams in the East.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
But I think that's
why I
part
say
of
we
the
solid.
rationale behind the 9-man, though. In other words, because if you're running the 9-man rotation, you're always going to have one of those starters in there.
Yeah.
And when you're healthy, that could be OG, that could be Randall, that could be DiVincenzo, that could be Brunson, and so you have, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be hockey subs, right? In other words, so I don't know that you necessarily like the Clippers are fortunate they have Russ, right? That can kind of assume that role and kind of be there. But I don't necessarily think that that's a necessary thing, just from a strictly bench standpoint, because if you're running 9-man rotation, one of your starters is always going to be on the floor with those guys anyway, and that's going to be the guy you're going to rely on to be that to take on that role.
Okay, so I just want to ask y'all a real quick question, because it's 5 guys. Let's get some positives. Let's say everybody's back and Mitch is back, right?
Okay.
All right. Now you got the 5 on the bench probably would be Burks, Bogdanovic, Precious, Hardenstein. Josh Hart and Mitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's not getting run?
Precious.
Exactly. Everybody's getting run. Everybody getting run. It's going to be a 10-man rotation.
Is either going to be Precious or it's going to be Deuce? One out of the two.
Deuce not even there.
It's going to be because it could be an 8-man rotation. Deuce don't necessarily have to play.
Deuce not even in yet.
We have a
didn't say Deuce.
named Burks. Because remember, Burks was brought over here to handle the ball too. So I mean,
He didn't say Deuce, Stafford.
I didn't say Deuce.
Yeah, Deuce wasn't even in the 5 he mentioned. He's already
okay.
out.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Knowing Tibbs, I think Bogey is not playing. Bogey's out.
Bogey.
Yeah, I think he's gonna start. He's gonna play Precious more than Bogey in the
He
playoffs.
do like that. He do like the.
He like Precious.
But see, I would, and I think Josh. Shout out to Josh, aka Uncle Fulio. He said this as well. He said he doesn't think Tibbs is gonna go past 9, but he thinks the 9, who that 9 is, may shift depending on what's going in.
Right.
Going on in that game. That it might be some games where is Bojan and maybe some games where it's Precious. I don't know Tibbs to be that flexible. We'll see. I would love to see that. You know, some series play one, player over another, and we'll see. But I'll say about the 9-man, that's just standing in the NBA. Coach Mitchell was talking on Sirius XM NBA radio. He said in the playoffs, the rotations go down to 9, 8, and sometimes even 7.
Right.
You don't have players you really trust, but we got players that are trustworthy. So maybe.
But Queen, you know what? I really have to agree with Josh on that point there too, because in certain matchups, we could really use Bojan, to stretch the floor. You know,
tell me.
Put him at the 4, because look how Miami uses Duncan. We could always hide him with his defense. So I think we ain't just bring him over here just to sit on the bench. I think he's going to be
was part of the.
I think he's going to have a role, Queen. It mightn't be no big set of minutes like how we was talking early. Like people expect these two guys to come over here and save the Knicks. They just over here to complement the Knicks to help them to win. You know what I'm saying? So whatever minutes they get to contribute, that's what they're going to do and try to do it to their best ability. You know what I mean? So if Bojan is coming in game 3 and he light it up, that's what we get. If Precious has to rotate and come in and do some of the dirty work and Randall get some rest, so be it. Hopefully we could see a flexible rotation. I know he's probably pie in the sky, but let's see what happens. I would love that to happen though. I ain't gonna lie. That would be nice.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Jerrell.
I was just gonna say, I think the number one problem everybody had with Tibbs that he don't change, but we all expect him to.
Right.
We go through this every season.
That's what I say. Pie in the sky. It's just a wish.
And I think finding out what's the difference between an adjustment and a philosophy. Certain coaches have certain philosophies that's not going to change, but there are certain adjustments that should be made depending on what's happening on the court. Some of the stuff we're pointing to about Tibbs is his philosophy. To me, that's adjustments. To me, is the coach. They run in a trap now, or they doing this to Brunson. What are you going to do to combat that? Who are you going to put in to help with that? That's adjustments to me. All of this other stuff that people are complaining about, that's Tibbs' philosophy. He want to play people. We got a 20-point lead, with 3 seconds left, they still in the game. That's his philosophy. He only want to play 9 people. That's his philosophy. The adjustment, though, they double teaming Brunson. What you doing? You know what I mean? Like
the first thing he gonna say is tell you trust the pass. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the type of stuff that be pissing me off.
You know what I'm saying? As the first thing you're gonna say, trust the pass. Like you see the double coming, trust the pass, trust your teammate. I mean, it's basketball. Like how Jay Boogie was saying earlier, it's basketball. You see the double coming, make the player come to the ball so Brunson could give you the ball when there's a double team, swing the ball to the open man, and if we get a shot or drive to the basket, I mean, it's a read and react, and that's the method to his madness, to his system. It's a read and react system.
So I want to put this out here now, so everybody have 27 games to get used to it. When we get in the playoffs, Do not come on this show when we lose and say Tibbs didn't make an adjustment. I need specifics. When they was doing this, I was expecting this to happen, and because just because you lose doesn't mean adjustments wasn't made. Sometimes you can make adjustments and they don't work. Sometimes you can make the right decision and it doesn't work. So I don't want that when we win. Oh man, Tibbs was great today. Oh man, the way he was doing the rotations and his adjustments. Tibb be tibbing every game. But when we win, oh, he was great today. Oh, the rotations was on point with the same shit. But
Yeah.
And then when we lose, oh, he was so terrible. I don't know what. We're gonna need specifics. When we come in here talking about adjustments, we're gonna need specifics.
That just means he didn't play the players I wanted to play.
Right.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. Most of the time, my complaints with Tibbs, whether we win or lose, is all the same complaints. It's always like, not specifically the rotation, but how long he keeps his players in sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, on defense, him being a defensive coach, why the hell do we play the same defense all the time?
I would like to mix it up sometimes, especially now that we have defensive plays.
Right.
Like there's sometimes when you don't just stay in the base defense. I get it.
Right.
But we have players now that we could do, some different things on the defensive end.
Right. He don't never switch up the defense. A lot of people have problems with his offense.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with his defense most of the time. They don't never switch it. I don't like that.
I don't know. In January, when it was the best defense in the NBA, did you want him switching a bunch of stuff up? Or did you just want him playing it out there when he's the best in the NBA? Why are you going to change what's the best?
Because if you don't never change,
because
why would you change it if it's the best?
He didn't have the players to switch. You know what I mean? You can't teach a philosophy with the players that you don't have, because it's not going to be executed right, so it's going to look crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you. I'm trying to see what I'm saying with Jeff. Even when we're winning, yes, we have the number one defense in the league. I'm just talking about in the future when that number one defense isn't defensing. What do you do?
Right.
You're just going to play the same? Like if your man-to-man base defense isn't working, what do you do? It's not going to work all the time. So in the playoffs, especially when it comes to matchup problems, if that base defense is not working, doesn't matter if you had the number one defense during the regular season. What is your adjustments on defense?
And to make him quicker, because there's been times when he's gone to a double team of a player to get the ball out of his hands. But for me, I would have went to it sooner.
Yeah, he always wait until the fourth quarter, and
or the next game.
I think that's listen, I like Tibbs, but it's gonna have some things that I just don't agree with, and that's one of the
things I don't agree with.
I don't know. It's like it mind boggles me with the Kyrie game. You see, he killing us from since jump. You wait until the fourth quarter to double team him.
He didn't change nothing. He just figured that Kyrie Irving was just going to stop scoring for some reason.
Like, channel star. Sometimes I want to just go through the TV, bro.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Usually when somebody's cooking us, they're going to cook the whole game.
Whoa.
I wonder what Johnny Bryant said to him about that game. Did he say anything to him? Because he's the number one. He's our top assistant coach. I wonder if he said anything to him about, we might need to get the ball out of his hand early. He looked like he's going to be on one of those type games. And then I wonder if he did say that, did Tom even listen to him? So, I know a lot of people used to say, we need to get Johnny, he need to be the coach and all that, We don't know of Johnny doing anything. At least I don't. You know what I mean? But, I'm going to go back to it. It's in Tom's hand to do what he got to do. But I'm going to challenge everybody here and anybody that's listening in chat. In the second half of the season, when we're playing, when you listen to the pregame, don't listen to the Knicks pregame show. Listen to the mother team show.
Facts.
And then you're going to know and learn and understand how them teams feel about us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of teams around this league, they scared to death of the New York Knicks right now. They're praying for us not to be healthy.
Bill
This team
Simmons.
right here is a scary team if it forms up together. If we hit on our cylinders again with everybody, teams are going to have a problem. Teams, you can play good, and everybody has their downfall. Nobody plays a whole season rocking unless you're a Chicago Bull team back then, or the Golden State Warrior team when they broke their record. You're going to have your ups and downs, Coney Island Cyclone roller coaster rides. And right now, we on our down ride. But guess what? I think it's down at the bottom already, where it's getting ready to start coming back up, to get ready to come back uphill. But just listen to how some of these other teams feel about our team. And then maybe some of us will really, really love it a lot more because they scared of us. That's why I tried to listen to them other teams. I love Clyde. I love Mike Breen. I got a banging song already did with Mike Breen. They got it though. I love all them guys. But I learned more from them other guys and what they saying about when they tell me about their players, how they feel about me coming into their building or they coming into our building. They don't want to come in there.
Let me pile on to that a little bit. I'm watching on YouTube, and Bill Simmons is in Manhattan, and he has a camera, and he's like, there's one team that I'm afraid of. One team. And he shows the Madison Square Garden. He's a Boston fan. See, J Boogie ain't lying.
Mm-hmm.
They scared, bro. They scared. They scared. They know Tom Thibodeau team is gonna fight to the end. You see the little scraps that we have, and we still trying to beat teams, and still they're almost to the end. Imagine we got a full roster and we healthy. It's over for some teams, man. But health got to be on our side, and that's that main factor right there.
Health and enough time to gel.
Yes, that's you're right. You're right, because remember I was telling you earlier today, Queen, it's going to take about 12 games in order to gel and chemistry to be there, right. And it's only 27 games left, and people coming back piece by piece by piece by piece. So we need 12 solid games with the full rotation, full throttle, to see how that look at the end of the season, going into the playoffs. Hopefully, it's a good thing. It's a good look.
Hey, I don't want to call out. I ain't gonna call out about nobody's names and nothing like that because I don't be doing that. But just to comment about the Orlando Magic, they not scared of us. Orlando Magic hasn't played this roster in its entirely. They only played us limping. They ain't played us healthy. And when they did play us, they didn't play us with this whole total package with OG and everybody.
The total package. I like that.
They ain't played us.
Neither has Indiana, by the way.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't get that comment. I mean, holler at us when we got the total package, the Lex Luger, the torture rap going on. Get up there.
We didn't even have a full roster the other night with the Pacers, and we still pulled out that game. Yeah. So and they had their full roster. Right. I mean, they had Halliburton. They choose to sit him on the bench because of minutes. So you can't blame that on us. So a win is a win, But I'm looking forward to the challenge when everybody's healthy, and we're gonna see all that laughing and kiki going. We're gonna see.
You sound like my grandmother. All you want to do is kiki with your gum skinned back. That's what she used to say.
South live in the South. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely
that is definitely the South. Last question I have, and then if you guys have any questions before we get out of here. And I think I asked this last week, but we have more people on the panel. I understand teams always trying to get better. Even if you're a championship contending team, you want to get better. If there's an opportunity to get better, get better. The Knicks, though, are actively, if you believe the reports, actively keeping their picks to go after somebody. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you don't believe you have stars already? Because to me, I feel like if you believe in Randall and Brunson, Go get, if you feel like you want to upgrade around them, fine. But I just don't get the reports that the Knicks are looking to go big game hunting in the off season. Why? Why?
Could be just clicks.
You know what's crazy about the big game hunting thing? All the big games that they say that we after, they ain't won nothing either. None of them. Except for maybe like when we was talking about like Giannis coming over here. Other than that, like Booker, Embiid, couple other ones, none of them is won in the playoffs either.
But Jerrell, I think it's all clicks too, just to get noticed. You know what I mean? You know,
But
just
the Knicks they are.
just for a story.
I don't know. I don't. This is the thing, though, Staffer. You can see how the Knicks are rolling. They don't want to give up first round draft picks. They 2 picks for this person. Oh, that's too much. So even the way they rolling is showing you that they are trying to keep their picks for something, for something else. Otherwise, why would they be so? Oh my God, we got to keep it. We got to get. Well, we can't give up a first round pick. You believe in the roster or not? Not the roster. You believe in the duo of Brunson and Randall, or you don't believe in the duo?
I guess it's just how they saying it, big fish hunting. Yeah, I understand we keeping our picks, to be flexible just in case a star was to come along. I get that. You understand? And I believe in our core, right? But I don't think you would disagree with me if a Devin Booker was to come up here and upgrade that too.
At whose expense? Because I don't think it's an upgrade. I think Booker is a better player than Randall. Don't get me wrong, but you add Booker and you take away Randall, are the Knicks better?
But all 3 of them will have to be here.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It might be just all 3 because we have picks and we probably have players that's expendable that we could send over there. We don't necessarily have to send Randall.
Oh, now Randall's not going to be a part of that. Randall's going to be a part of him being here with them. Don't forget
they was
roommates. Don't forget that. It was roommates.
Got to match salaries.
With probably all Bojan might go in there because he might be an expiring contract. He got 19 million. You know what I mean? Devo could probably be in that with that 50 million. You know what I'm saying? So we don't necessarily have to give them up. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So even though we do that, I'm not saying I ain't got no confidence in the team. It's just the narrative, how they pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Like we desperate for a star. And in my opinion, I don't feel like we're desperate. If that star do come along, I expect the front office to make a run and to at least make a phone call.
The type of star that you're talking about, I just want to put some emphasis on the superstar talk, because I don't want no 2028 Kevin Durant, LeBron James. I don't want that type thing. If you're going to get somebody, it's going to have to work towards backwards. Like Devin Booker, let's say Alexander over there. Okay, see, he's off the books. You're not getting him. You're not getting him. All that playing Philly and all that. The only 2 people that really you can really go get is Devin Booker and Spider.
No, there's rumblings. There's rumblings in Dallas too, J Boogie, with Luka. There's little rumblings over there.
I understand but as far as those are the 2 right now that might be, and including Luka, they might say I want out. But besides that, you got to start playing against this new collective bargaining that's getting ready to come in right at the end of the season. Because we talked about, but the commissioner don't put in it. He gave you 1 year. 1 year. See, after this year, it's over in Boston. Because what are you going to do with amounts of their roster? And they got $200-300 million players on there. It's over. So you can.
But they already on there though. Like If you have a championship team and it's locked because you can't, but you have a championship contending team already, so it's locked.
Okay,
You don't need to make. You understand? It's just when you locked and your team is not a championship contending team that it becomes a problem.
I get that. Okay, but that same 300 million that Brown got, Tatum gonna want a little bit more. Okay,
and he gonna get it.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is the other type players that you're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? Amongst that type roster, and been in the playoff runs with these two guys. What? This is my 4th year with these guys, and I don't win it. I'm not. Oh, that's not really good. Ready to keep doing that. For what? What am I doing for? I'm not talking about just them two guys. What else am I going to put around it? You know, versus looking at, you know, going back to what Queen said, it takes time. You know, versus going against a roster that we're not nowhere over the cap and let other teams break up. Let them break up. Fall apart. Let lose it, because that collective bargaining going to injure a lot of people. A lot of teams are going to be injured. Why do you think they ain't gave George his money yet? Oh, they think they ain't gave it to him yet. They gave it to Kawhi, but they don't know what they're going to do yet. Teams got to figure out how much money they're going to give people, and teams going to and players got to be willing to accept that. You know, you only getting 2. They've been saying you only getting 2. On that 3, that's over with. It's over with. So we can stand pat a little bit and let it develop a little bit. If it's nobody major for us to get, and it's only a select few. I don't want to go get none of these old guys that didn't want to come here before and play with us and steal the glory and everything. What these guys don't work hard for, they deserve that. And no, that's not my word. Shout out to my man, you know what I'm saying, the Morning Brew, Jigga Man. That's his words.
Yeah, we had that discussion last week, and that I'm with you on that. But at the same time, if you can guarantee a chip, Jerrell had to get me straight 2 weeks ago or last week it was. I don't want LeBron coming here taking the credit. But at the same time, if we can get that chip.
I don't give a damn who come over here. I've never seen one. I don't care who's in the jersey, to be honest.
It's funny because sorry, go ahead, Jerrell.
I was just gonna say, as long as they give us that chip, I don't care who's in the jersey. That's all.
But if he opts in to that 50 mil, got to match that with the trade. You know what I'm saying? So if you bring that 50 mil over here and you gut your roster, where's the other money gonna come from with the new collective bargain to go sign other pieces that could be worth of anything?
Right, but that's basketball reasons. That's basketball roster reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some people didn't want him there just because he would take the credit.
Right,
That's team building reasons, right there, not to go.
Yeah, you talking about that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like if it's roster, yeah, that doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do that. No.
Also, too, it would deplete our roster.
It would.
You know, I mean, we wouldn't have nothing to add to the play to what we have to do after he leaves. Because we don't know if he might opt in again. Because once he do that, you know, he's the king of New York. Now you have the GOAT status now with him and Joe. Oh Lord, it's gonna be a whole fiasco with that.
Listen, we good.
But I need longevity. I'm sorry, Queen. And me and Queen was talking about it today. I kind of changed my mind, Jerrell. I want longevity. I don't think I want LeBron here with that one championship, bro. If he gonna give us one, leave us with something to build on so we could carry it on to the next year and the next year and the next year. Don't just deplete us and leave. That's where I'm kind of having the discomfort at.
Yeah, we can.
But he got us that one. He got us that one though, Stafford. Like that's a guarantee.
Nah, man.
All the rest of the stuff you said don't mean nothing.
But John, dog, to be down in the dwellers in the dungeon again with Detroit and these teams here again, dog.
That's rough.
I want that.
That's rough.
Okay, so you want to just go 10 years hopeful, and you might not get it.
And you might not get it.
Well, that's what it sounds like. Once we give away all our picks, so when we gonna get a next pick again?
No, you would rather not get LeBron and just be in the conversation for 10 years with no guarantee you're gonna get it.
No, with Jalen Brunson here and whoever we got, we definitely get a chance. I mean, I ain't
That's
giving
the
up.
point I said, no guarantee, a chance.
Yeah.
LeBron's not a guarantee either, though.
Oh my God. Listen, LeBron, like somebody said, he's not even elevating the Lakers with AD. I mean, he's getting the numbers and the stats and whatever, but it don't seem to be helping him.
I put a lot of that on AD too, if you watch him play. Because he's the one that's supposed to be the number one player on that team, not LeBron. AD's still in his prime.
Yeah, man, I don't want Tim over here, man. I good. I'm good, man. I'm good with that.
I'm good too.
I changed my mind, yo.
AJ, we know you good, bro.
Listen, he didn't want to come here. He didn't want to come here.
AJ, we know you don't want nobody.
I don't want him. I don't want KD. I don't want Kyrie. I don't want none of people who want to come here.
No, and I don't wrong you either. I'm right with you.
If LeBron wants to come and play in New York City at this age, ain't but one way Jay Boogie would take him. That's for him to opt out. Don't opt in.
So
right.
Come over here and take a pay cut and play for like 10 million. See, the Lakers just want him to opt in because they missed out on trading him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They begging for him to opt in after the season. But if he opt out and he goes ring chasing, he's going to have to go somewhere and take a pay cut, which that's not going to bother him because money is not his. He ain't got no problem with money. You know what I'm saying? He won another ring, but that's not letting him opt in and me trading gut the whole team for him now.
That's different. If he do that and we get a ring and we still have the whole court to the rest of the years through, I'm good with that.
If you want to do like David West, play for not league minimum, fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
AJ, you need
All I'm going to say about the LeBron thing is watch out for Oklahoma City.
Jeff, I don't even want to talk about
Okay, Caesar.
Watch out
like
for Oklahoma City has all the pieces.
Why would you
give him another ring? You can play with Shy.
Listen,
Gilgeous-Alexander and have all that still a bunch of that young talent. They have plenty of picks to give the Lakers. They have enough salary. Now they have Gordon Hayward. They can send out that salary to help match salaries. I'm just telling you, in the LeBron situation, look out for Oklahoma City.
Why will Sam Presti do that?
Win a championship.
Because OKC,
he will be their third.
They out of the developmental phase.
And they got an MVP candidate over there.
They're in the top. They're in the top 3 in the East, in the West.
So they have enough draft pick, to start over and redevelop.
What I'm saying though, you better than LeBron. LeBron is way at the bottom. You at the top. You got players that's running over
the experience.
You'd be better off bringing Kevin Durant back to Oklahoma than going to get LeBron, because that way LeBron can't play without that ball. He sure ain't getting the ball out of Alexander's hand.
Right.
So I'd rather go ahead and send some trades over there. Phoenix, y'all want to break up? Kevin, come home. Come play with me in Oklahoma, Kev. I'm not Russell. That's different.
I can actually see KD going back to OKC.
Yeah.
I can see that.
KD the ring chaser.
I can definitely see that.
Follow the footsteps of LeBron one time. LeBron went back to Cleveland. Follow his steps. Go back to OKC. I wouldn't mind seeing that for that franchise. But
all I'm going to say is if the Thunder draft Bronny,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
You already
That's all I'm
coming
saying.
out this year?
He could be. I don't know if he is or not, but if he is and he's there,
he played
I'm
like
just telling you.
Come out 2 years from now.
Oh, is it 2 years? Okay.
And I say he played like he should be coming out 2 years from now. Like he does.
The only one I thought I was the only one that saw that. I wasn't even gonna say that, but Uncle Rel gonna let me know.
Yeah, I watch college basketball. He's just been.
I don't know who's worse, either him or Michael Jordan's kid. When Gordon dropped that 50 on him, and Mike was in there like this. I don't know who's worse.
On both the kids too.
Yeah, on both the kids. Mike said, "If you put that camera on me one more time."
I remember that.
Gordon went crazy on them people, man. Eric Gordon.
Wow.
I remember
All right,
that. Yeah,
that's all I have. You guys have anything else?
Nah, we usually go over the schedule real quick, but obviously it's the All-Star game. All-Star predictions. What Brunson gonna do? Jacob Thompson
point contest tomorrow.
Yeah, we gotta have predictions.
And that's it, right? Oh, not Obi.
Jacob
Thompson is in the
dunk
contest tomorrow, and then Brunson will be in the All-Star game Sunday.
You guys know that's a New York Knicks thing, right? They had to put they want to give it some flavors. That's why they want as many New York Knicks players. But Queen, I want to add real quick. Shout out to Candace Parker who buried herself even deeper in that Brunson grave. I mean, listen, she's got to understand something, right? I guess she's new to being a commentator. Listen, us Knicks fan, we have very short memory. We already forgot about her because we already beaten on that ref who gave away that game because we already forgot about Candace. We was that ref that gave away the Houston game. That was our fault. And then she gonna bring it back to. I'm like, man, listen, please, okay, please.
Yeah, because it was even questionable when she said Butler was the best player in this. Maybe
no, he wasn't. Brunson was the best player. And first of all, that's not what she said the first time. She didn't say nothing about who was the best player. She just said
that was the second time when she doubled down. Yeah,
when she doubled down, she was all over the place again, man. Like, man,
clearly she didn't watch that series.
She didn't watch that.
But if you didn't watch it, that's fine. Just shut up.
No, but listen, Geoff, you figure
if you did watch it, and that's the conclusion that you came to, you shouldn't be a basketball analyst anywhere. I don't care where you played in the WNBA or anywhere.
Geoff, you figure 3 weeks later, you'd go watch the series and come back with another take. So 3 weeks later, you still didn't watch it, and you still making stupid statement. Come on.
But Jay Boogie, I agree with you. Brunson should have pulled what's his name card yesterday. He should have pulled his card, because you diss me on national TV. Then you come next to me talking to me like me and you was big friend, like you just wasn't just dissing me last week. Now you giving me all this publicity about this and that and the third. You was just talking trash about me last week, bro. What's up?
But see, you know what? That's the greatness about us. We can speak and say those things all we want. You know what I'm saying? But real big up and shout out to our floor general. He's a real professional type guy. He doesn't get into that. You even heard him, when they asked him, what do you think about the call? Great call. Next question. He moves on. So, but he allows what other people say. His answer is it comes from his game. And that's respectful of him. Us, leave it to us. We get them people. We get at them, you know what I'm saying? And speak for them. And Captain, don't worry about it. I'm waiting for a real stormy thunderstorm day. I got this joint called Weather Storm, and I handled Candace Parker and Becky Hammond in that one show. But I want to do it. I'm waiting on it.
That's my guy right there. Dave Boogie's my guy right there.
So I already don't answered her already. I shot that to the people to try to see if they would rock with it, but they didn't want to rock with it because one thing about the Knicks, they don't want like other situations, talk about other people, they don't do that, and I respect that. to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? That they don't, people can say what they want, but they don't want to be like, talking about somebody else's. So they did give me the opportunity and ask me, to change it, but I told them this is one time I didn't want to change it because this is what I was feeling when I was writing, and I felt like I was speaking for Jalen at that time. You know what I'm saying? So that's a song that I'm gonna do myself. I'm just waiting for the right, rainy type, weather to come up so I can, me and my guys, we can shoot the video for it. But it is called Weather Storm. And that's what we don't did. We don't weather a lot of storm, and I always say, these are the words of Denzel, to get through the rain, you got to get through the mud. We don't weather through a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, and got through a lot of things that a lot of people would not be able to get through. And they're still struggling to figure out how to get through it now. But here we are today, you know what I'm saying? We finally over the hump and we in position, and a lot of things is in our favor going our way. You know what I'm saying? We got a great team. We got a great, fan base. You know what I'm saying? We got all our draft picks. You know what I'm saying? The office is going in the right way. It's a lot to be proud and happy about, far as being, fans of the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of times we didn't have a lot of conversation that we really wanted to continue on having because we knew we was losers on the opposite side of those conversations. But today, oh, no, we can stand up to somebody's face, no matter where you're at, in the park, barbershop, at work, wherever, you can stand up and swing for your Knicks and be righty proud. And then other people that's arguing with you, they got to back down. So, yeah, I'm grateful.
The only way to really shut them up is to win that ring, though.
Huh?
The only way to really shut them up is to win that ring. Till we do that, all they're talking is justified, as far as I'm concerned. You got to win.
Shout out to State. State was like, Brunson gonna shut people up when we win that chip.
Yep.
So, I can't agree more.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys think I'll ask it anyway. Concerns or a lot of people don't think Brunson can be the best player on a championship team. Some people like Becky because of his height, but others because they just don't see him as being good enough just yet to be the number one on a championship team.
All I'm going to say is keep moving the goalposts on that, brother. Keep moving the goalposts. Every time they move the goalposts, he get another first down. Just keep moving them. Just keep moving him. He keep moving the ball. He keep pushing the ball down the field. You just tell him he can't do something, and you just watch.
Being the best player and the best name on the team are two different things. Did you say that about Isaiah Thomas? Did you say that about Tiny Archibald when Larry just got there? Did you say that about Tony Parker? Did you say that about these guys? But you didn't mention how, you're a small person and you didn't lead the Liberty to a chip. Come on now. That guy, he can lead a team. You just got to have the right pieces around him. And that's, that's just like the Detroit Pistons. They did it twice. Joe Dumars. Not Joe Dumars, Chauncey Billups and Isaiah. You got to have the right pieces, right core, and let them lead. I don't get into nobody what they do. What it's Allen Iverson could have done it, but it's just the team he was going up against.
Mutombo.
Right.
No, they went against the Lakers. That was a dominating team. You know what I'm saying? But they put the pieces right that was made towards his game. But we building and doing the right thing. We still to be continued. But we got a good fighting chance right now.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't really talking about his height. That's what some people say. Just has he reached that stardom? Well, we shall see that stardom level where he.
If I didn't answer it, Queen, he did, and that's small work. He did.
I thought you meant height.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
no, that's just one. Some people doubt him because of the height. Some people doubt him just period. That he's on that level to lead a team, to be the best player in a championship team.
My boy is a star, man. You see all this publicity getting right now. The first person to open up the show in TNT. Look, you gotta love it, man. He's in the 3-point contest. You know what I mean? He changed the whole New York franchise around.
I don't
You
say
know what I mean?
about winning the chip though.
Say that again.
That's not saying much about winning the chip though.
Yeah, but you know, they say we need a star, and he's a star. But I mean, we gonna get there. I feel we gonna get there. We gonna get there, man. Somehow, one way or another, we gonna get there. We got the pieces to do it right now. I gotta agree with Jay Boogie earlier. It's up to Tom to lead these men onto the battlefield and get to the promised land. You know what I mean? Where we could be holding up a trophy. We could all meet each other. You know what I mean? Throw beer on each other and whatever is the case. Confetti and whatnot.
Jalen Brunson has won in every level he's ever played in.
Yes.
High school.
College.
I'm a North Carolina fan. He beat us in the championship game. So I hated Jalen Brunson for a little bit. He's my point guard.
Right now, though.
He's my point guard now. I love him.
Well, here's the thing, too. Even that's, you know, I understand that argument, but is Charles Barkley not one of the best 3 power forwards of all time?
Right.
How about Karl Malone? Was he not an all-star? Like, what about Patrick Ewing? Patrick Ewing got as close as you can get without getting one in '94. Does that diminish his career? I mean, you can say that, but I mean, anybody who thinks that Patrick Ewing wasn't a genuine star doesn't know a thing about the game of basketball. The same goes for Barkley. The same goes for Malone. The same goes for Stockton. Like, so I don't know. To answer your question, yes, I think he can. But even if he doesn't, what he's doing right now is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented. And look, if he stays healthy, he's going to have us in the conversation for a long time to come. And if you don't think Luka Doncic doesn't miss that dude, you've got another thing coming.
And he said it on the JJ Redick podcast. He missed Brunson.
Yeah.
Thibodeau'S said it right. Be careful, Dallas. Be careful. Because I wouldn't be surprised that is the superstar that they want.
I wouldn't be shocked.
And Jada can get him here. Up over here, dude.
Oh,
Up over here.
You talk about the defense bit, did you? Let's see. All right.
We got OG to hide him. We have OG to
OG
hide him.
can't hide everybody now.
I know. We have OG to
But
hide
you
him.
know what? You better get Mitch, the best trainer, because if you're going to have Luka and Brunson, we're going to need Mitch. We're going to need Mitch.
And Hartenstein.
And Scottie Pippen.
No, we don't need no Scottie Pippen. I don't even care if it's prime Scottie. Get Scottie
And
Pippen
Gary
out of here. I can't stand Scottie Pippen. Get him out of here.
Thibodeau'S go crazy over there. We go ahead and get Luke and bring Devin Booker over here with him. Woo! I don't mean to stir that up, y'all.
Don't
Hey,
do
that would be a super team, though. I ain't gonna lie. Then we gonna have to win something out of that core right there. Got to win something.
Anything else or any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat. It's almost 1 o'clock. Y'all know how we do every Friday night now. Steph, we got a couple Friday games, don't we? Like, don't we got to switch up soon?
We might have to. Ajay?
Ajay got that.
Ajay got that schedule.
Ajay got that old man schedule.
We're still looking for the All-Star ballots at Costco.
Right.
He can fill it in with his
He had his pencil ready, though. Number 2.
That's how you see the printed out schedule. That's crazy.
No, we good. We good the next couple of Fridays. The next Friday we play is March 8th.
I think we moved. I think that's when we moving back to Thursdays. I thought in March we was moving back to Thursdays.
Yeah,
No, it's all over. So we have next week, of course, is next. So next week is Friday's good.
Mm-hmm.
March 1st, Friday is good. Then March 8th we play Orlando.
And that's a Thursday?
No, those are all Fridays.
All Fridays, okay.
And then the following 2 Fridays we're good, and then the last Friday of March we play San Antonio.
Okay.
So in terms of Thursday, we play Thursday next week Thursday. The Thursday we play Philly next week Thursday. The Thursday after we play Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors. Then March 7th we don't have a game. Then the next 2 Thursdays after that we play. So we might as well keep it Friday. Keep the schedule on
and
Friday.
just when we play on Friday, that's the day we'll move it to Thursday. I'm going to be at that Miami game on April 2nd. Actually, so yeah, that's my birthday. So I'm a be in Miami. I'm gonna go on a cruise from Friday
That's
through.
always starting on us on the low. I don't know if y'all peeped it.
Friday through Monday.
Last year she stunned on Alaska on us.
No,
It was Africa.
Africa should be starting on us. Where in the world is that?
When is that, Queen? March? You said
April 2nd.
Or April 2nd.
And when I get back from the cruise that Monday, I'm gonna hang out in Miami for Monday and Tuesday before I go to the Knick game Tuesday night.
Nice.
Any fans in Miami? I'll have some free time. So if you guys want to meet up, let me know.
There'll definitely be more fans of the Knicks than the Heat. We know that.
I would like everybody to know that on my birthday on the 9th, we play the Bulls at Chicago, but I will not be there.
We need to go fund me to get Jerrell to Chicago.
Hey, I'm not going to do it. I'll probably be here chilling.
Let's get Jerrell to Chicago. Let's go.
No.
Stupid chat.
He's like, I don't even want to go to Chicago.
Hell no. I'm good.
Well, I do know, and my birthday is April 21st. I'm going to be up top somewhere figuring out what game I'm going to be going to. But that same day, my high school coach, Ron DeClario, the city is giving him an award or something. So I'm going to be up there doing that. I got to look at the schedule and find out what games is around there because I have to be at my high school coach. That's the most winningest high school coach in the NBA. I mean, in the history of high school. And that's also the last ball boy for the New York Knicks of that championship team. Ron DeClario was a ball boy on that team. And that's the same. That's the son of Emil Neclario, the doctor that saved Martin Luther King's life, so be up there for that right there.
Well, the 21st, we should be in the playoffs by then, though.
Yeah.
Last game of the season is the 14th, so that's that. So playoffs probably started then.
Yeah.
Do we have any games next week?
Yeah.
When does the game
Friday.
start back?
Thursday.
Thursday.
I don't know if we play on Thursday, but that's when the game starts.
We play Thursday.
We play
Thursday. We play Philly on Thursday.
Well, we talking about birthdays. Mine's is Tuesday coming up, so.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Steph.
Done, man. Done.
Yeah,
Turning 39.
We getting up there.
That's what's up.
39, man. That's my man.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Tuesday coming, man. And I will be home.
You know, I mean, you don't go nowhere deep.
It's like, I'm not going to no ball games or nothing.
And nothing. I will be home. I'll be probably sipping on some bourbon. That's about it. Enjoying life. You know what I mean?
Hey, man. You deserve that, man.
For sure.
Once again, shout out to the chat, man, who always on fire. Remember,
we didn't even do the likes. Where we at with the likes?
We're good. We 89, but still a few people holding out, to hit the like button.
We had 131 in here earlier.
Yeah,
definitely hit the like button on your way out.
On your way out. Yep.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Albert Coates, New York State of Mind, Knicks 100, Dripmore, Angrill, Mike Boy. Who else we got in here?
Evan Bergen.
Mm-hmm.
East Central, Bricks Nation.
Yeah.
JJ was in here earlier.
Still Knicks fan was in there.
I'll be on Still Knick Fans tomorrow. So because it's the All-Star break, he's having an All-Star panel show.
Right.
So content creators will be dropping in and out of the show tomorrow. So I'll be on at some point. I'm not quite sure the exact time. I think the show starts at 11:30. So yeah, that should be a good one. All-Star cast on All-Star weekend.
Man, I got
all day long. Raleigh got until 3 in the morning, knowing Ron.
Right. he invited anybody on the panel. He said he's gonna drop.
Yeah, he says he's gonna drop the link on us. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to come on tomorrow,
I might just pop up real quick because I gotta work tomorrow.
Well, anyway, Jerrell, Ajay, Geoff, Boogie, Staffordon.
Stir it up.
Guys, dropping by in the chat and the replay game. I appreciate you guys. Until next, and girls. Until next time.
Peace.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at?